And up, New York Giant fans. What's going on, Baddog?
What is going on, everybody? Happy Saturday evening. By this time next week, I'll be about halfway through the 24-hour stream.
That's right. You do on the 14th. You're doing the 24-hour stream.
Can't believe that has come up so quick, man. It's crazy that is already here. The summer's flown by. No good weather, but it's flown by, man. So, and that's next week is the first preseason game for the New York Giants.
It's going to be here before you know it. Let's say hello to a couple people in the chat. We got our regulars in here. Of course, Dyard. I saw Afghanistan's in here. Tommy's in here. Marjorie, Evan, Nona. Thank you guys for all the support. You guys always show all the time. And, yeah, Baddog, like you said, I mean, there hasn't been a ton, which it's refreshing for me as a Giants fan. I mean, obviously, as a content creator, sometimes you're like, I wish I had more to talk about. But as a Giants fan, it's been a refreshing offseason because, you know, last year we had the DeAndre Baker thing. That was like 8 videos in itself, 3 live streams in itself. When we talked about DeAndre Baker, you had roast us. You had the whole COVID thing, the uncertainty there. This year, you know, it's been a relatively quiet offseason, and we're going to start to really start to pick things up come preseason. But we got a couple things to talk about, you know, that happened this week with the fight and with a couple of other things as well. Another player retired with Zach Fulton. Maybe talk about that a bit as well. But obviously, things will really start to heat up next week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, you know, preseason, you just want you guys healthy. And it'll be interesting to see exactly how they do this with one less preseason game. I would imagine the first game you're going to see the starters in there for a quarter because I would imagine the second game is going to be your dress rehearsal, and then the third game is going to be the guys fighting for roster position. So we'll see how it goes. I never read too much into preseason. Like I said, I just want them to get out of it healthy. Like I didn't even watch the Hall of Fame game. I knew nobody was going to play in that game. Nobody ever does.
Dwayne Haskins did.
Oh, well, I mean, like I said, nobody ever plays in nobody ever plays in those games. And, you know, I wanted to watch the Yankees, so I just kind of went with that. But the Giants' different story. I have a hard time getting into watching other teams play preseason, man. It's just, I don't know. I can't get into that. I don't know why. The Giants' different story. I want to see who makes the roster. I want to see how these guys do. I want to see who, you know, stays healthy and everything else. But, you know, I don't – like the other teams, I just can't get into other teams preseason, man, because a lot of those guys aren't going to make the roster. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the two things I'm going to be looking at, and like you said, we don't know how much time these guys are going to get, especially in the first preseason game. But the two things I'm going to be looking at really closely in this first preseason game, one, the offensive line. Like the offensive line, to me, I want to see how the first unit looks. Hopefully they get a couple of reps, couple of series. Want to see that. And then the other thing, I'm really curious to see how they utilize Cadarius Toney in the lineup. Are they going to use him on kick returns? Are they going to use him on punt returns? How are they going to line him up in terms of being a wide receiver? So I'm excited about that. I actually saw a highlight today where they were, I think it was a fake jet sweep where they faked it to Toney. So you're starting to see the creativity that they were thinking to bringing it to the table. So I'm excited to see how they utilize him in the first preseason game.
That's a great point. Because, again, Cadarius Toney, I think he's going to be a lot of a gadget player. I don't know how much he's actually going to line up at receiver. You hope that we don't have to because you hope our receiving core would stay healthy. But this is going to test Jason Garrett's creativity too to see exactly how they can get him involved in the game. And I think you'll see some jet sweeps, some end arounds. Like I said, maybe a little double reverse, maybe a reverse where they throw back to him and he throws the ball, you know, maybe just a straight handoff, bubble screens. There's a lot of things you can do with Cadarius Toney. I think that's why the Giants drafted him. I think that the versatility that he can bring to the offense is something that can keep defenses guessing, and they can utilize some trickeration with that. Simon, thank you for super chat. Really appreciate it. What up, my favorite YouTubers? Y'all make my night better. And you make our night better.
Appreciate you for being here, Simon, man. What's going on, my man?
And our guy from Palermo, grazie, paisano. Grazie, really. Salute, my paisanos, Kevin and Chris. Drop by your office to pay respects and destroy all Eagle fans on the way out. Forget about it. If anybody, I say it all the time, if anybody hates the Eagles more than me, if that's possible, it's Tuto.
That's why I love him so much. He's the only guy I've ever met, and well, I haven't met him yet. I think I'm going to meet him at the Eagles game. He's coming from Italy. He's the only guy I've ever talked to that I think actually hates the Eagles more than I do.
See, I didn't know he was going to that game.
Yeah, well, he may be going to the one at the Link. He hasn't decided yet.
I ain't going there.
He's going to a Giant Eagle game.
They have posters of me up over there. I ain't loving that. Me in Philadelphia, but Yeah, I mean, I love it. You can tell how bad the Eagles are, how much hatred there is when they have hatred all the way over in Palermo, Italy. So, it's good. Yankees fan, Brilly, do you root for the Mets also? Well, I don't root for them, but I don't root against them. And also the Mets lost. Yeah, the Mets are in trouble.
I root for them, and I'm going through depression. But I'm used to it as a Mets fan. It's permanent depression.
The Mets are in trouble. Yeah. Christopher, thank you so much on a 5, brother. Really appreciate it, my man. Thank you so much. Matthew, Brilly, hair reveal. No, next week we're going to shave my head on stream. So be there for that.
DWG shave head on stream?
Yeah. DWG is going to shave my head on stream next week.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, that's charity.
So I'm assuming you've let it grow a little bit then.
Yeah, it's getting dark. I mean, it's not really long like it normally is. It's been about 3 weeks, but yeah, there's enough there to shave it. We're gonna shave it. We're gonna Caruso it on stream. Alex Caruso, the God. We bring it back a little bit, man. Yuri, thanks so much, Brilly. Baddog, say with me, the Cowboys defense stinks. I hope so.
I think Tom Brady's going to throw for 5 touchdowns first week of the year against them.
I love it.
Speaking of the Cowboys defense, I haven't seen them. I'm not a Cowboy fan. Obviously, I don't follow them as closely as I follow the Giants, but I think it'll be better. It can't be worse. Like it was like the worst defense in the history of football over the first 5 or 6 contests last year, and then they got a little bit better as the season went along. But I think they're going to struggle early on. They've got a lot of young players in that defense. They drafted 7 rookies. And you look at their young corners and the receivers they're going to have to go up against in the NFC East. I think Dallas is going to struggle defensively.
Luckily for them, I mean, they play Philadelphia, and we all know that they don't have any wide receivers.
That's true.
This is why. I mean, there was one Eagle fan in particular that was pretty mad about them.
I fire out. Motherfucker! Stupid motherfucker! What an idiot! What an idiot!
All right. Gotta bring that in there. But yeah,
I don't know what he's so upset about. They got Jalen Reagor.
I mean, they did, and now they got Devontae Smith. Yeah, they got nobody to throw him the ball. That's why there's all this talk about Deshaun Watson going over there now. Please trade for Deshaun Watson. Please give up 3 first-round picks and pay him all that money. Please, I want them to get Deshaun Watson. I do. I want the Deshaun Watson there. I want them to give up their entire future for him. Please do it. Tuto, because he's getting paid more than Carson Wentz, so please do it. Tuto, really, we Italian Giants fans set our foot where not a single American Giants fan is there to do so. The link, I'm not setting my foot in there. We're true Roman soldiers with the balls. They cut my balls off. I showed up there. Simon, really, congrats on the Yankees. Definitely going to miss your rant. So, don't worry, Simon. Tune into a live stream. There's plenty of rants during the game from me.
Oh, what do you mean? You're not doing Yankee? Oh, because they're winning.
Because they're winning.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
They've done all right.
They're playing very well right now.
Listen, last 2 nights on Twitter, they got down. I said, "You're coming back to win this game." I told it today. I don't know. It's just
no. You got something clicking right now. You got something clicking right now.
It's good. It's about damn time. Still only 12 games over 5. I just like that Boston's full. That's what makes me happy. Watching Boston right off the cliff. And the fans will go right with them. I don't like Boston. Nelly, thank you so much, Brilly. Hey, guys, great to see you again. And so hyped for the start of the season. I bought my tickets for the Eagles game. Can't wait to meet you guys.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
It is going to be a lot of fun, man.
And I know Baddog is far away, so he's probably not going to go. I'm going to Fan Fest, so hopefully I get to see some of you guys there for that, too. That's August 11th, so that's
I will not be there. It's a Wednesday.
It's not a game. You're not traveling there on a Wednesday.
Right, and it's a Wednesday night. But
but I'm looking forward to it, too. So if anybody's going to that, hopefully I get to meet you there. But, of course, looking forward to going to another game with Baddog and hopefully another, a bunch of other content creators as well.
Yeah, we'll be there the night before. We'll do it again.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll do what we did last time. We'll go out with a few cocktails. Not too much. I don't want to be hungover for the game. And then we'll have fun.
And we'll have a few more cocktails at the game.
Yeah. You know how we do it. But, yeah, we'll have fun. And I still find it hard to believe, like, people want to meet us. That's still the weirdest thing. Well, maybe you, but me, I'm like, who the hell wants to meet me? Like, when people,
who wants to meet me?
Everybody wants to meet the entertainer. I wanted to meet you.
I wanted to meet you, too.
Yeah. Your dad will be happy I shaved today. I did the Yankee video today, and he's like, "Dog, you need to shave." He goes, "I'm going to start calling you Bear Dog." And I was like, "Yeah, I did look like a bear." Brock, thank you so much. Really. Oh, he's rubbing it in. He says, "Let's go Phillies."
Oh, yeah. Oh, that son of a bitch.
Now, I'll tell you what, I was watching the ninth inning, man. I thought, no, the Mets are going to come back.
I was pissed. Normally Bad Dog, and I know we're going to get back to the Giants, but normally Bad Dog, you'd get excited, with back-to-back home runs. And I watched the whole game. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I was screaming at my TV. I'm like, where was this the entire game? They hit 3 solo meaningless home runs, and they ended up losing 5-3.
They left 2 men on base.
Yeah.
Pete Alonso's struggling right now, man.
Yeah. He chases the high
Over his
fastball.
last 17. He belongs on the Yankees. That's what we were doing all year. L.A. Lou, thank you so much. Brilly says, what up, my East Coast bros? Hope you don't mind if I chime in with a baseball quiz question. Never do. I love baseball.
Do your thing, my man.
Always. Bobby! Hey, everybody in the chat say, Bobby! Bobby's going to be there for 24 hours with me next week. He'll fall asleep about 5 in the morning, always does. And then I'll get up at like 7 and go, I'm sorry, man, I fell asleep. I say, Bobby, you don't need to be sorry. Get your sleep. I'm the one that needs to stay up for the 24 hours.
What's up, Bobby, man? Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well.
Good to see you, Bobby. LaMancha 23. Thanks so much, my man. Brilly, brother. What up, guys? Division's ours this year. Bad Dog, wish you were coming to FanFest. Chris, can't wait to meet you. Need a pic with all the boys.
For sure, man.
I know people. Oh, sorry, Chris.
No, I'm looking. I'm just looking forward to it for sure.
I was gonna say. I mean, even if you guys aren't going to the Eagles Giants game, you can always swing down there like the night before because I'm going down there the night before. Chris,
we'll go to Reds. We'll go to Reds.
We'll go to Reds or whatever. I mean, we'll be there. So
I mean, there's even a bigger bar there. I think don't they have like the DraftKings bar that's bigger? Maybe if there's going to be some more.
Yeah. I mean, if we don't go to Reds, we'll go somewhere else.
Yeah, we go somewhere where there's more space. If there's going to be more people there, but yeah, right. For sure.
But,
yeah.
I mean, I was telling like. Johnny Letourneau's going to this thing, which I can't wait to meet Johnny Letourneau. There's a lot of people I can't wait to meet. Like I want to always put the face with the names.
Yeah,
they get to see our.
We met a good amount of people last time, but hopefully we get to meet more this time.
I think it's going to be more this time.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot more this time.
But we met Gangrene David. We met Luan.
We met Detonator.
Obviously meet the Mets.
Detonator.
The Booty
Kid
Man.
Blue.
Kid Blue, of course, Kid Blue. DWG I met.
DWG. The Don.
Yeah.
Of course, OGR.
Of course, Jeff, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. The coolest thing for me, and there's people that you said.
Oh, Dire Giants fan.
Dire Giants fan, right? How the hell do I forget that?
I can't wait to Giants fan, man.
I can't wait to
drink. Give me a Daniel Jones jersey.
I can't wait to drink with Dire Giants fan. Because he's getting there early this time. He's not going to, traffic ain't going to mess him up this time around. But yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. That'll be cool. So I can't wait for that. And it'll be here before you know it, man.
Oh yeah.
Tutto, grazie, brilly. We're either former or current pro rugby players with MMA training. The smallest and shortest dude among us is 6'2", 235. Well, I'm like 6'1", 174. But I'm strong for my size. I ain't that big, man. I lost a lot of freaking poundage. That Tad that shouldn't be. Brilly. Can't remember. I remember what that means. He says, you know how in a disaster movie when a tidal wave hits or a volcano erupts, they show it in ultra slow motion? That's how watching the Cowboys fall apart last 3 seasons feels. A big budget meltdown. I enjoy that.
Yeah, for sure.
I have definitely enjoyed watching them fall apart. And Christopher, thanks so much, my man. Brilly. My biggest fear is Jones will hold his team back from winning the division. All right, let's start talking about the Giants.
Let's dive into. But before we do, I just want to give a quick shout out to Chris Toney. I see he's in the chat. He said, "Nice cup, Chris. I'm a big Beatles fan. It's good to see you." And I was telling, I'm going to tell Bad Dog now. We're looking forward to you coming back to the streams because we're going to need the special teams coverage. But Bad Dog, let's jump into it. Let's talk about Daniel Jones. Let's talk about the New York Giants.
All right, let's get this real quick. Michael, Brilly. Anybody got extra FanFest tickets?
I don't. Somebody actually gave me. I mean, they're free, but somebody had an extra one, so they gave it to me. I was unable to get them.
Simon, thanks so much, Brilly. Thankfully, I'm not a Met Jet fan. I need a noose. Yeah. Oh, it's rough. Mets Jets is tough. Even Mets Giants right now is tough.
Yeah, Mets Giants is tough, but Mets Jets is even tougher.
Dre, I hate the Eagles like this much more like an eyelash more in the Red Sox. I really hate the freaking Eagles. All right, let's talk about Daniel Jones. Let's talk about the offense, which is. I was going to ask you, Chris, because I read again today. Daniel Jones did have one good game. He was 11 for 11.
He had two good practices in a row.
But he was really bad again today.
Yeah.
At what point Because, I did a video on it. Guys like, oh, man, don't worry about it. Man. But as I said last week, you can develop bad habits when you're playing for fake poker chips. And then when the real thing comes, you go back to those habits. At what point do you start to worry and say, this offense is maybe not good? Maybe, what's going on with that?
Training camp, I'm not going to get too bent out of shape one way or another, even in the preseason games, because as well as I do, especially in preseason games, you're not going to get the full playbook. Not to mention Galladay's probably not going to be playing the first 2 preseason games now. Barkley's probably not going to play at all in the preseason, which is our 2 most dynamic playmakers. And it's very possible Barkley's not even going to play week 1 or 2 now, from what we heard. We'll see what they decide to do. But the way I'm looking at it, and everybody's got their own – they'll have their own opinion on it. But the way I'm going to analyze the Giants offense this year, first 2 weeks – I just want them to do what they did the last 8 weeks last year. I mean, obviously, I want them to go out there and score 40 points. But realistically speaking, I'm looking at it like we got no chemistry with Galladay. Galladay's been off the field now. He's going to miss another 2 weeks or so. Barkley is either going to be very limited or he's not going to play. And you're going up against the best secondary in football with the Denver Broncos week 1 with 2 good edge rushers. And then on a short rest week, you're going up against arguably the best defense in the sport, definitely the best defensive line with the Washington football team. So the way I look at it, Baddog, I just want Daniel Jones those first 2 weeks, realistically speaking, manage the game. Like you did the last 8 games last year, rely on the defense, rely on the ground game. You get your chemistry with Galladay after that. Then you open up the offense when you take on the Falcons. Again, if Jones plays bad, of course I'm going to criticize him, but I'm not going to go crazy until they get the first 2 weeks under their belt. You get Galladay more in sync. You get Barkley hopefully at 100%, and then you start to go up against the Falcons, the Saints, the Cowboys. That's the way I'm looking at the offense to start the year. I think the defense and the running game is what's going to propel us to wins if we're going to win in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, I agree. And one thing I always find funny, and I see Washington fan here saying his name is Trash Can Danny. Ed Oliver came into the stream the other night and tried to say something, and he disappeared real quick when I said to him, I don't understand how Washington fans can say anything. If he's so bad, why the hell can't you beat him? He's 4-0 against you.
It's true.
He's 4-0 against Washington. The guy's won 12 games in his entire career? 11? He's beat you 4 of them? How come you can't beat him? How can you say anything about it?
Now, he hasn't even won that many. What did he win? He won –
maybe 4. Won 9.
Yeah, he won –
he had 3 last year. Or 3 the year's rookie year and 5 last year.
He's got 8. He might have 8 wins.
There you go. Half his wins are against Washington, yet they continue to stay. And you guys drafted Dwayne Haskins. How the hell can you say anything about Daniel Jones? Why Washington fans even running off of the mouth? This is like 2015 when you won the division with a 9-7 record. Oh, here we come. You were 7-9 and we swept your ass. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Washington fans?
It's true. Hey man, you know what it is, Baddog. They get a little taste, even though they went 7-9, and we all know they backdoored their way in. They win the division. They get a little taste. They add Ryan Fitzpatrick. They're acting like this guy's the second coming of Drew Brees. Let's find out what happens when we take them on the football field. That's all I'm going to say about the Washington football team.
Listen, I got no problem with Washington. I don't like them, but they just love to talk about Daniel Jones. And I'm like, your quarterback that you drafted that same year gone, and you haven't beat Daniel Jones. L.A. Lou, thanks so much. Really, really scoreless play. Bases loaded. The batter hits one in the 8.5 gap for the center field and right field to run the ball down. A pig runs onto the field, swallows the ball, and runs off. How do you score a play? I scored a double and 2 runs.
It's got to be a double. It's got to be a double. 2 runs scored, second and third.
That's what I would do. That's what I would say. A double and second and third.
A pig. It's funny that you picked a pig because I would feel like a dog or a cat would be more common.
I don't think it'd swallow the ball, though.
Yeah, well, a dog could.
A dog could. Well, that'd be a big dog.
There's some big dogs.
There is some big dogs. Bigger than pigs. Tutto! Grazie, paisano. Really, really. Once they find out we're Italian Giants fans from Sicily, they run away fast. I'm sure they ain't messing with no Italians.
No.
They don't
especially if he told me when he goes to the Giant games, he brings like 200 of them.
Well, yeah. If he's bringing,
it's going to look like the Godfather.
If he's bringing a mafia with him, it ain't. Brilly, Marcelo, thank you so much. Great to have the defensive back, but not an offensive line. Very worried.
Yeah.
Big question.
Listen, man, obviously one of the big storylines this week was Zach Fulton, and he's now the 3rd Giant that's retired in the last week, 2 of which were on the offensive line. We brought in Looney as well from the Cowboys, guy that could have played center or guard. He retired like two or 3 days later. And yeah, you look at the depth of this offensive line right now, and I'm with you, man. I'm saying to myself, they got to go out and sign somebody. Now, the way I'm looking at it, Baddog, and I know a lot of people are talking about Austin Ryder, a guy that I've talked about a lot. He started for the Chiefs each of the last 2 years at the center position. But if I'm Ryder, I'm probably kind of holding out, hoping I get an opportunity to start. And the Giants may not be giving them that guarantee. So he may be waiting until there's injuries in other camps to maybe be able to slide in as a potential starter. We don't know the whole story there. Right. I know the Giants brought him in for a visit. But what I think the Giants are going to do, if I had to guess, because I saw that they brought somebody in for a tryout today, sounded as if he's probably going to be more of like a camp body, not really a guy that can make this team.
Right.
And that's probably what they'll do because they're going to need enough bodies in training camp. But I think as training camp wears along and you see more and more cuts, I think that's when the Giants will try to pick somebody off that could actually make this roster and provide his depth on the offensive line. I think that's what you're looking at right now. But, yeah, I mean, it's a huge question mark right now with the offensive line. And we knew that before, and now it's an even bigger question mark. With Fulton now. Fulton was a guy that I thought could step in, and play at least decent, being that the guy started each of the last 2 years.
Yeah. And listen, man, the Giants' offensive line depth is getting thinner than my hairline, and that ain't good, man. That's not good. So there, like I said, there was question marks before, and I know some Giants fans are like, "Baddog, don't worry about the offensive line. The offensive line's fine," but it's not. There's nothing to base that on. Oh, we're going to be okay. This line was one of the worst, in some cases, the worst pass blocking line in the league. If Saquon Barkley's going to miss time, and it looks like he's going to, that hampers our offense even more and become more one-dimensional because who the hell knows if Devontae Booker is going to be able to run or Alfred Morris. We don't know. Those guys aren't Saquon Barkley.
No.
But, yeah, like you said, I would imagine you should start to establish the run. This team did run block pretty well. The fact that they were able to run with Wayne Gallman says I think that they can do it. And Denver's not going to score a lot. I think that first game should be a low-scoring 14-10 type game. I think a turnover is going to win that big turnover somewhere in that first game where you got two really good defenses and two offenses that really probably aren't going to do much against one another. So, but I just want the offensive line to gel, and I don't know, man. It's definitely worrisome to me. I don't know what it's going to mean. So
I just want to I saw Taco, who I love, and I saw him write this a couple of times. He says, Chris, I love you, but stop with the excuses for DJ. I'm not using excuses for DJ. I'm just using common sense. And I'm saying, not every game is going to be the same. You're going to have different game plans based on your opponent. And I look at the Denver Broncos squad. I say to myself, they've got a quarterback who's prone to turnovers with Drew Lock, and they've got a defense that is among one of the top 5 or 6 in the league and arguably the best secondary. You're going to have a banged-up Golladay. To me, it doesn't make sense for the New York Giants to go out there and sling the rock 40, 45 times when the weakness of that team is the offense. The way I look at it is manage the game and try to come out of there with a victory. Try to force some turnovers on defense, control the clock, don't turn the ball over. It has nothing to do with me saying that, just realistically speaking, if I was the coach, my game plan would not be for Daniel Jones to throw the ball 40 times against either one of those opponents.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Joe Judge said that last year in his opening press conference. We're going to change up depending on the opponent. And they did this against Seattle with Colt McCoy. They just controlled the clock and relied on the defense. They didn't try to do anything crazy. They didn't try to launch the ball down the field. They just ran, play field position, try to get a turnover. I mean, that might be what they do the first couple of games. But, yeah, you don't want Daniel Jones making big turnovers at inopportune times. You'd rather play the field position game, wait for your defense to make a big play, try to run the ball, control the clock. Get up by 2 scores, which should be enough for your defense. It'll be interesting to see how they do it. We don't know what's going to be there week 1. But I think Chris is right. I think the first 2 weeks you're going to see this team, people are going to be complaining about Jason Garrett again. It's too vanilla. They're just doing this.
But that's the smart approach the first 2 weeks.
Exactly. Yep, no, exactly. L.A. Lou, thanks so much, Billy. He says, you score that as an inside the pork. Yes.
Well done, L.A. Lou.
Well crafted, sir.
That's why he mentioned the pig. I get it now.
Brilly. He says wrong. I would invoke the infield flying pig rule.
What's up, Imp, man? Glad to see you, buddy.
I love the Imp because he always talks about how old he is. He makes me feel like a young guy when he talks about how old he is. I think he said he had dinner with Vlad the Impaler or something one time. I don't know. Hey, Big Daddy. Thanks so much, brother Brilly. Hey, guys. What up, Big Daddy?
Big Daddy's
I'm
awesome.
glad to have my guys back that all these guys are freaking blocked too much. Oh, by the way, Zuabe told me to tell you he's blocked him. You might want to check your.
I'm sure it happened to me too. I haven't checked that in a while. I'm sure
I
probably got a rogue mod just like you do. I'll check it out.
check it out. Because Zuhaib said that he was blocked in their channel. He said, let Chris know. So
I appreciate it.
Blocked. Yep. Anthony, thanks so much, brother. Really, really banging it now. Giants finished third in the NFC. Only two teams that'll do better are Tampa and Green Bay. Giants going 12-5. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, we could say it until our eyes turn yellow or whatever. But it's going to come down the line. I mean, it's going to come down the line for me because I think if the line is good or at least average, Jones will be good enough to win some football games. So if the line is going to be average or above average, I'm not going to tell you it's impossible we can win 12 games. I'm not predicting it, but it's going to come down to Jones taking a huge jump. And I think in order for him to do that, it's going to take the offensive line to take a huge leap this year as well.
Yeah, the offensive line is, we say it all the time. It's not like it's not a sexy position. And yes, the league has changed. Everything's set up for the offense. But at the end of the day, as cliche as that is, you win in the trenches, man. If your offensive line can't hold the defense out of the backfield, you can't do anything. I don't care who your quarterback is unless they're God like Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers. And Daniel Jones is never going to be that guy. And there's not many Russell Wilsons in the league. So you can't expect Daniel Jones to perform if he's getting knocked around. He's not. He's talented. I think he's talented anyway, but he's not talented enough to get away from guys coming free in the jail.
He's not a top 5 quarterback.
He's not going to be that.
We know that. Yeah.
So he needs some help. And you can't expect the guy when he's knocked on his pockets every time he drops back to have confidence that he's going to get protected. And that starts screwing with the quarterback, man. You start getting knocked around. And you know me, guys, I ain't making excuses for Daniel Jones. I don't do that. But if you're getting knocked around, sometimes quarterbacks like, I got to get rid of the ball even before he has to. That's why it's always important.
We saw with Eli. I mean,
even if you get knocked down and not sacked, it starts going in your head. I got to get rid of the ball.
He had Eric Flowers blocking 3 years in a row on his blind side or whatever. You start to get a mental clock in your head. It screws with you. There's no doubt about it.
Independent outsider, thank you, brother. Really, really long time. We'll see anyone want a Kelvin Benjamin Giants jersey. Cheap and comes complete with gravy and marinara stains. Come on, let's go.
I still can't believe Kelvin Benjamin, and I know we talked about this, I think, on the last show.
We did.
Had the nerve to come after Joe Judge. Yeah, I came into camp. He told me to come in at 251. I came in at 268. I weighed 265 when I talked to him 2 months earlier. So I gained 3 pounds instead of losing 14. I think he's going to do a horrible job. It wasn't fair that I got cut. Like, what? Like, what? Like, what? The nerve of this guy.
He ain't been in the league in 3 years. Now you know why.
Yeah.
You know why. And like I said, you have the opportunity to come back. A team's giving you an opportunity, and you're going to blow it like that and then come in and have that attitude like it's the coach's fault that I gained 3 pounds. Come on.
Yeah.
It's not right in there. Some kind of disconnect, man. These players are prima donnas. They think the world revolves around them. Well, I got news for you. It don't. The patients don't run the asylum. Not in Joe Judge's camp. They don't. And I've mentioned this in my videos before. These guys retiring. Bill Parcells said it. I'm not worried about the player's ego. If he can't take it, man, he needs to take a hike. I want guys that want to be Giants.
That's
no Judge, in my opinion. Hunter, thanks so much. Really, really, brother. He says, I'm going to the Chiefs game. Pumped.
That's going to be a tough one. It'll be a fun game. Fun game, but it'll be a tough one.
It will be. We're going to win that. We're going to need some turnovers.
Wow, so he's going in Kansas. Well, he probably doesn't live in the New York area, but.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, though. Blue collar, long time no see, my man. Really, really, brother. What up, fellas? Nice to see you show again. If we open season 5-5, look at our last 7 games, how do we finish? Jason Garrett said, call him coach.
That was another thing that was – did you see that?
No, I did not see that.
Okay, that was another thing that was so blown out of proportion. Like, you could clearly tell – you have to see the video, so you can't really speak on it. But, so basically Jason – and Jason – listen, you and me, we're not the biggest Jason Garrett fans. It's not like we love the guy, but I think we're fair. Like, we don't blame we don't blame the COVID outbreak on Jason Garrett like half the Giants fan base.
Dr. Garrett. That's
like
Dr. Garrett.
Yeah, like they'll blame everything on Jason Garrett. And I think the media knew that, and he's an easy target. And it was like 4 days ago. Jason Garrett's talking to the media, and he basically said, it's nice to see you guys. I forgot his exact words, but, to everybody in the media, while he was leaving, it was nice to see you guys. And nobody said anything. So then he looked down, he had to grab his chart or whatever, and then he comes back to the podium again, and he says, it was nice to see you guys. He said it a little bit louder as if to say, what's up, you guys, say it back.
Right.
And then they finally said it back, and then on the way out, he jokingly said, basically insinuating to the players, he's like, they call me coach. And then the media ran with it. And they went to social media and they wrote articles about it, basically saying that. Yeah, I know. But they basically said that he demanded that he calls them coach, which couldn't be further from the truth. It was an absolute joke, what the media did.
He needs to watch our stream, and that way he can go out there and say they should call me doctor. Corey, thanks so much. Really, really. Why do us as Giants fans always fear that our top players won't step up again? We don't hear about other teams not having confidence in their top players. The only thing I can think of is that he's talking about Leonard Williams. I think
he might be talking about Bradbury, Martinez.
I think they're all going to be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say why I think it is, Corey. Let's be honest, Baddog. We've been bit in the ass so many times. I mean, you look at the 2017 Giants, all those defensive players regressed. Brandon Marshall, we thought he was going to be really good. He completely crapped the bed. There's been so many times where we've had, I think Giants fans are sick of being disappointed, so they're very cautiously optimistic where they set I'm not saying all Giants fans. Some Giants fans think we're going to go 17-0, but I think there's a large portion of this fan base that is very I don't know if negative is the right word because we've been so bad for so long. They expect the worst and hope for the best.
Yeah, I don't think that's any. I just knocked my cord. Hey, good, my microphone didn't go off. Yeah, it's cautiously optimistic is how I'm going into the season.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I still think we're going to be good, but there's definitely questions. But there are questions in every team in this division. So I don't think anybody's getting away from us. I think this defense can be good enough. I think once Barkley gets back and once Galladay and DJ find their rhythm,
groove,
I think we'll be okay. Adele Billa, thank you so much. Really, really. He says we knew the risks with KG. Shaking my head. Yeah. I mean, risk is everybody. Risk with everybody, though.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It might just be, to me, it didn't look too serious, right? He walked off on his own power. He looked like he was walking 100%, but he's had hamstring injuries in the past. So it's definitely something you want to, keep track of. My guess would be if it was the regular season, he probably wouldn't need 2 or 3 weeks off. I think the Giants are being very cautious here, but I think it's something that you have to worry about re-aggravating in the season. There's no doubt about it. We knew that was a risk when we signed the guy.
Yeah, hamstrings are tricky.
They're tricky.
And there is no reason to push him now.
Yeah,
there's not. You don't want this to linger. You don't want this to be a thing that goes into the regular season. So let him get his rest. Let him heal it completely. Let him be ready for week 1. That's the most important thing. By the way, if you guys haven't done so, we got over 400 in here. So thank you so much for joining us on a Saturday night. Make sure you hit that like button. It always helps out the stream. But more importantly, make sure you go into the description. The link to the Entertainer Talkin' Sports is there. Sub them up. We do this show every week. We alternate channels every week. So you want to do that. We also do all the Giants games together, and we alternate channels on each Giant game. So hopefully, if you guys are new, you will subscribe. Thank you for being here. The Imp, thanks so much. Really, really, really. He says, I saw Thorpe beat up 2 offensive linemen in the game. I think he's talking about Jim Thorpe. That's all I'm going to know.
The Imp's funny, man.
Benjamin, thank you, brother. Really, brother. Go to the Dodgers-Angels game tomorrow. I got my authentic Kershaw jersey ready to go. I will boo the hell out of KP while I'm there just for you fellas. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
I didn't see KP in the chat.
I mean, could you blame him?
No, well, I could. That's what Benjamin says. He's like, what kind of loyalty does he have?
Well, not nothing to do with you. It's just, people go after him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not that it's not deserved.
No, that's what I'm saying. Benjamin loves it. Cruise on. Thank you so much. Really, really says, I hate fans that say DJ have no excuses. Like, people don't understand how important the O-line is. Half the fans thought the line was good. I don't think the line's good.
Let me read that again. I hate fans, and I love Cruzon, by the way. What's going on, man? He says, I hate fans that give DJ no excuses. It's like these people don't understand it. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Not to say that I'm going to leave him, I'm not going to give him any of the blame. For sure, he's the quarterback. He has a lot to do with, how the offensive line plays with his pre-snap reads and everything else. But you're 100% right, Cruzon, man. I saw it for 10 years with Eli Manning. The offensive line has a lot to do with how the offensive line is the most important unit on a football team. I say it all the time. It is so important to how an offense operates. You saw it in the Super Bowl with the best quarterback on the planet, Pat Mahomes.
Right. Somebody said, where's your Eagles jersey? It's in the trash where it belongs. If I have to wear it again, it'll be because the Giants lose to the Eagles. I have a bet with Philly 500. If the Giants lose to the Eagles, I have to wear that Eagles jersey when we stream the Eagles and Giants in the next game. And
so you're not going to have to. You're not going to have to.
And when we win, you'll have to stream with Giants gear on history.
Oh, that's going to be good.
Gonna matter. That Philly 500 video was long overdue. He has roasted me enough to where I said, okay, it's time. By the way, so many people are like, where'd you get the Eagles hat? That was not an Eagles hat.
I was going to say, it looked like you taped it on or something.
It
right?
was a tape. Yes. I had an Under Armour hat, white Under Armour hat. I just taped the logo on it.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
The jersey was a gift from Johnny Letourneau because Eric Allen is my favorite Eagle. So he said, I didn't know who sent that to me. I didn't feel like, Al sent me an Eagles jersey. It was him. I thought it was him, but that's where I got the jersey from. Actually, the jersey's hanging up in the closet. David Boyer should belong.
It should be in the toilet. It should be in the toilet bowl.
It really should be, but it was a gift, you know. He says, "Good evening, goats. As always, Baddog, Lakers in 5." Oh, that's it, David. It's going to be a fun year.
What's going on, David?
Fun year doing those games. There's no doubt about it. Ian, we got time. Really, what up, guys? Good to see the goats. Thank you for being here, man.
What's going on, buddy?
All you guys and girls back.
Mr. Chase Claypool. He loves Chase Claypool.
Oh, he did. Oh, God. It would have been nice to have him. He did love
it would.
Dave, thank you, brother. Really love you both. Looking forward to the season with both your beautiful faces at the helm. Tell that to Stephen Lilly, Dave, because he says we got faces for radio.
Exactly. Where's Lily? I miss Lily.
But no, Lily.
I appreciate it, Dave.
Yeah, Lily will be.
He pops in every now and again.
I mean, it is 3:37 in the morning.
Yeah. No excuses.
Yes. Where the hell are you, Lily?
Tudo's here.
Tudo's here. I don't know what time it is. Tudo's always here.
Yeah, Tudo doesn't sleep. Tudo doesn't sleep.
He sleeps less than me. When you're in the mob, you guys can't sleep. Really, grazie, paisano, grazie. He says, what Philadelphia Eagles players and prostitutes have in common? They're all wide receivers.
Whoa, that was good. That was a little X-rated, Tudo. Usually you're more PG friendly, but that was pretty good.
Someone says you're a Laker fan. No, actually read the description. Now in my description, there is a default thing talking about how I am as a video maker, what I do, and the entire reason why I stream the Lakers instead of the Knicks. It's right in the description. It's all there.
I can't believe you have to put that in your description.
I don't, but I did.
No, but I'm sure you get asked it all the time. I'm saying I can't. Yeah.
You're like, I never knew you're a Laker fan. I'm like, I'm a Knicks fan. I say it all the time. I'm not. I'm a Knicks fan. Lakers fans don't. I'm a Knicks fan, although they're always like, Baddog, you're part of the Laker family. I work for the Lakers on YouTube. I am not a Laker fan. No, I'm a Knicks fan. I always will be. I've been a fan since the Bernard King days, the Rory Sparrow days, the Gerald Henderson days. Okay, Lewis Orr. I'm Mod Squad. You know,
we'll talk a little Knicks at the end of the show. I'm curious to get your thoughts on some of the pickups.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. I wasn't very happy. Matthew, Brilly, how would you deal with a cap after the season?
I mean, we're screwed. I mean, not screwed, Matthew, but we're not going to be super active next year. But you got to know that, like, when you have an offseason like we had, and you went out there and you spent the way we did, and the cap took, the hit that it did, it was supposed to be $30 million higher at least. Yeah. They had to backload money into next year. So next year, you look at our cap, we don't have any money, and we're going to lose players. There's no doubt about it. Real Pepper's a free agent, Evan Ingram a free agent. Not that you guys will miss him. Will Hernandez, you might, we talk about all the time, continuity. If he plays good, probably going to want to keep him. He's a free agent. Lorenzo Carter, BJ Hill, all these guys, they signed in 1-year deals this year. So they're going to have some decisions to make. But next year, don't expect a lot of big spending, maybe some extensions. If Barkley has a really good year, maybe you look into stuff like that. But they're not going to be bringing in any big name free agents next year. They did that this year.
Yeah, that's why. And I just realized I had my shitty microphone on. Now I have the good one on. But yeah, I think that, that's why we went out and got all the draft capital, because when you have no cap space, that's the way you get players on your team. That's why Dave Gettleman was smart this year. He went out, he took a big swing at fixing this team on offense with Kyle Rudolph, drafting Cadarius Toney, Kenny Galladay, obviously, and he took a big swing with Adoree Jackson, who has also been awesome in camp, which is definitely good to hear that he's been great in camp, as has Williams.
Darius Williams has been a really
good. Darius Williams said when he went into camp that he was going to be great.
Well, the only reason Williams dropped as far as he did is because of his age. Mm-hmm. He's 25 years old.
No, what a geezer.
Yeah, well, I'm saying for,
No, I know. Well, yeah. Brandon Weeden was like 27 when he came out, wasn't he?
That didn't work out very well.
No, it didn't. Well,
he was a Cowboy, right?
Was he a Cowboy or Brown?
I think he was a Brown and then a Cowboy. Maybe I'm wrong. I know he was drafted by the Browns, I think.
Yeah, no, they didn't know what they were doing. They finally got it right in Cleveland.
Yeah, but that did not work out. But yeah, no, I think that's the only reason why he went in the 6th round. So far, he may be the primary backup cornerback. He's playing that well in camp so far.
I love it because I'm a secondary guy, so I love it. And I'm excited about Xavier McKinney, man. I can't wait to see him play. Leandre, thank you, brother. Brilly. How you like Joe Judge's coaching style and discipline? I love it. I'm old school, man.
I can't. I see all these people in the media, all these people on Twitter. I laugh at it, Baddog, because you got to pick one way or the other. And, and I love Coughlin. I friggin' love Coughlin. One of my favorite people associated with the Giants ever. Okay. Yep. His last couple of years got a little soft. Okay. Let's be real. The Odell against Carolina, Joe Judge ain't letting Odell do that for 60 minutes. Okay. You think Joe Judge is going to let them go on a boat trip, Victor Cruz and them to go on a boat trip like Ben McAdoo did before a playoff game?
No, they'd be doing laps.
Yeah, you think Joe Judge is going to let the team quit on him like that happened to Ben McAdoo?
That's not happening. You
think that Joe Judge is going to let players fall asleep in meetings like Pat Shurmur? So the way I look at it is you can't have it both ways. So we had guys, the last two coaches specifically, that were soft on the players, and we complained about that. Now we bring in a hard guy, and people are complaining about that. And then the thing that I hear, Baddog, the thing that I always hear is about Joe Judge. Well, if they don't start winning games, the players are going to turn on them. No shit. You could say that about any coach in the league. If a coach doesn't win games, players aren't going to buy it. I don't care what his methods are.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. If you don't have a proven track record of winning, or say, why the hell am I listening to this guy? We're losing every freaking game.
It has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with his training methods.
Felt like these guys played hard for him. Sterling Shepard said that's fine. Like the veterans are sticking up for him. That's all I care about. You got these scrap heap guys that are retiring. Oh, well, that's twice. Oh, my spirit wants to, my body doesn't. Maybe that's a fact. Maybe their bodies can't take this rigorous thing. But what I know, and I mentioned this in my last video, when you train like this, Pat Riley did this to the Knicks in the 90s. The Knicks were not the most talented team at all in the 90s, but they worked harder than anybody. So the conditioning, Riley got in there, they had a condition, like all the body fat dropped. Ewing dropped his body fat in half, Oakley, all these guys. So in the fourth quarter, they were stronger than everybody. So to me, this conditioning, the running laps, this will pay off in the fourth quarter, the last 7 or 8 minutes ago, when the defense is gassed and the offense, is running the ball down the throat, hopefully, or vice versa. When the offense has the ball, defense can step up because they got all that energy. Yeah. To me, it's conditioning, and that's important. It's something that may be overlooked, but I like it. I have no problem with what he's doing. I don't.
And you talk about the Knicks, talk about Riley. How about Thibodeau? Same thing. Thibodeau comes in there. You had a soft guy before with Fizdale. Thibodeau comes in. He brings that greatness. He brings that toughness.
They played
their asses off. And they
take on the personality of head coach, Chris. I say it all the time. That's what they do.
And the same thing happened with Thibodeau. Obviously, he had better results in year one than Judge did, being that they made the playoffs. But the same thing happened with Thibodeau when he took the job. People said players aren't going to buy in. Players aren't going to want to play for him. It worked. I mean, they won like 15 more games than people expected. So I think people got to give Judge a chance. I don't care about running laps and players retiring. There's plenty of players retiring around the league. The Raiders had 3 players retire. Yep. And you don't think some of it has to do with the shots, with the vaccine? That definitely has something to do with it, especially for fringe roster guys. So I'm not reading too much into that. To me, I look at those guys, Baddog. I look at the Fultons of the world. I look at all those guys, the guys that got cut. They looked at it. They said to themselves, there's a good chance I'm not making this team. Mm-hmm. Shane Lemieux went down, and they didn't even put Fulton in to replace him. Everybody thought he was going to be the primary backup. So obviously the Giants weren't too high on him to begin with. And I think that they said to themselves, is it worth it for me to go through this strenuous training camp?
Not even make the team.
And not even make the team. So I think that is probably why they ended up retiring.
Good point. Eric, thank you, brother. Really, if DJ's an average quarterback this year, say top 16, do you think we give the guy 30 to 35 million per year or look to move on? I think it depends on how the team does. And Chris mentioned this before. I think it's signature moments for Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
I think it's signature moments.
You win games at the end of the day, we're going to think he's a top 16 quarterback, regardless of what his statistics are.
Right. That's really what it comes down to, wins. If he wins, yes. If he doesn't, no.
Yeah. Period in the story. And again,
especially depending on where he draft.
Baddog, if you have a game, where you throw 3 picks and 2 interceptions, but you have a game-winning 2-minute drive, that's what you harp on. That's what you remember at the end of the game.
That's all you care about at the end of it.
It's
if he goes one
football.
touchdown all game and it's the game winner, everybody overlooks everything else he did bad in the game.
Yep.
Kalen, thank you, brother. Brilly says hi. 500 going to have a lot of Dolphin jokes for Chris. You see his new intro?
I did. I was laughing.
That's why I had to do the video. I had to get that out. David, thank you, brother. Brilly. I'm in Colorado right now at 11,000 feet, trying to get used to high altitude again. You see the NBA is investigating the Bulls and Heat for tampering. I did see that.
I did not see that.
I did see that. The Kyle Lowry and Lonzo Ball. I did see that. When we talk about the Knicks, we're going to talk about Lonzo Ball. He should have been a Knick. Robert, good to have you back, my man. Brilly. I'm so sorry. You're one of the guys that got stuck on my block list, man. It is good to have you back. One of the better Eagle fans that you'll find. Not a homer and a very respectful fan. A good dude. He says, it's hurricane season. Not to worry if you're in Dallas. Go to Cowboy Stadium. No chance of a touchdown there. That was like a two-toe joke. He says, good to hear from you guys. Dallas sucks.
We can agree on that, Robert. That's one thing we can come together on, Robert. We come together on that. We're not fans of the Cowboys.
I like that. That was good. Wolfgang, thank you so much. Really. Let's go from Japan. Can't wait for the season, baby. Hey, Wolfgang, thank you for hanging out from Japan. I can make a morning to you over there.
I mean, you know all the time.
It's like 10:46. I don't remember if Japan's is 11 or 12 hours. The Philippines are 12 hours ahead. I know that very well. Australia's 14 hours ahead.
Okay, so
he's 5 hours ahead. I know a lot of the time zones.
He might be eating breakfast or early lunch right now. Listen to us.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Wolfgang. Thank you, my man. NYG forever, Brilly, brother. Sup, Baddog and Chris. Last year was a blast in the YouTube sports community, even with how the NFC was. We're in for a fun season this year. The NFC East is always fun.
I can't wait.
That's why I had to do the Philly. You got to have fun, man. And what I love? A lot of Eagles fans thought that video was hilarious. They're like, I'm an Eagles fan. This is funny. I'm like I said, when I was a trash talker, that's the way you used to trash talk. That is how you trash talk. It's not malicious. You throw a couple of jabs in there. You know, it's funny. It's not harmful. You're letting them know that you're a little bit out there. You know, he's thinking they're going to win 14 games.
I mean, the guy believes in every conspiracy theory underneath the sun.
Well, so I didn't get into that, but yes, I did. I wasn't going to get into the moon. I thought about when I said we're going to double moon. I know about moons, and then I was like, I'm not going to get into that whole thing. But Mike Gorga, thanks so much. Brilly. Okay, guys, what are the odds of we're quarterback hunting in April? Let's do some odds in a chat. Hopefully.
I'm going to give you a guy I was thinking about, Baddog, that I haven't, and I'm not saying I want this at all, but I was thinking about like worst case scenario, because I think that's worst case scenario. Daniel Jones doesn't work out and we have to be in the market for a quarterback. Yeah. And everybody's talking about Deshaun Watson as a possible trade possibility. Rodgers. I'm going to put the Rodgers thing to bed. First off, I don't want to think about it. I want Jones to be the guy year 4, but we're talking in this scenario. Could you see Rodgers, who's Mr. laid back and chill, wanting to play in New York and play for Joe Judge if he could handpick the team he's going to be traded to? No. I just don't see it. And Watson's going to cost you so much. And this is not a sexy name. It's kind of what you said as a stopgap possibility when you brought up Bridgewater. When we had the transition from Eli to Jones, you thought that'd be a good stopgap. I look around, I look at connections. Jimmy Garoppolo, they're going to move on after this year. Trey Lance, in the past, he's talked about how much he loves Jerry Shaplinski and his time, the quarterback coach for the New York Giants, obviously has ties to Joe Judge.
Yep.
If they were looking for a stopgap guy and Jones sucked, that is a realistic possibility that I could see ended up as a New York Giant next year if they go the free agency route.
Yeah, that's a good point. Definitely a good point. And hopefully we're not going the free agency route. I mean, Daniel Jones has another year in his contract, so hopefully.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's a good name. I mean, I never actually thought about that. I keep thinking about like Tyrod Taylor or somebody of that nature coming in and filling as a stopgap. But if we might not have to have a stopgap if Daniel Jones sucks and we have a high draft pick, they may just take the quarterback there and let Daniel Jones play that 4th year, unless they trade Daniel Jones and then bring in Garoppolo. I don't know what they would get for Daniel Jones, but let's hope none of that happens.
I don't even want to think about it.
Let's just hope Daniel Jones.
I saw him bringing up in the Super Chat.
Yeah, let's hope Daniel Jones kills it, and they want to extend him, and that we want to extend him.
Yeah.
So Giants fans are like, I'll pay the guy. Please. Rob from downtown. Thank you, brother. Brilly. If we host an FC Conference Championship game this season, how wild will the tailgate be? Oh, it'd be insane.
Oh my God, man! I can't even imagine, man. If we haven't had, when's the last time we had a home playoff game? The 2011, the first game against the Falcons, right? That was it. Yeah. 2008,
2007, we didn't play one. 2008, we did. We lost to the Eagles.
Yeah, that's right. That's
one I want to forget.
We've had 2 since 2008 home playoff games.
Yeah, wow,
that's crazy.
And it didn't have a home playoff game from 1963 until 1985. So they've had these runs. The Imp, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. 367. That is an interesting
Totally. He says NFC East where everyone hates everyone. This is true. That's why it's the best.
And I said this earlier, and I don't know if I brought this up to you. I think the NFC is going to surprise people this year. And I'm not, again, I'm not saying they're going to win 12 games, but I think they were at a huge disadvantage last year because of the new coaches in a shortened preseason and everything else with the pandemic. There's only 5 new coaches in the NFL last year. 3 of them were in our division. And I look at that and I say to myself, I think that alone, I think all 3 of those teams are going to get much better this year just because of that. Second year, having a full off season to prepare. So I think the NFC East is going to be better than people think.
It can't be worse. I mean,
it can't be worse than last year, but I think it'll be better than the expectations.
No, I think that Washington, Dallas, and the Giants will fight for the division. I think Philly is going to take a step back.
Yeah,
I don't like their quarterback at all. And the funny thing is, all these talks about Deshaun Watson, that shows you that the front office has no confidence in Jalen Hurts. And Philadelphia Eagle fans who have touted Jalen Hurts, Jalen Hurts. As soon as they get Deshaun Watson, we're like, oh my God, Deshaun Watson. You know that's coming.
Yep.
I really hope they make that move. I really do. Please trade. I want them to get Deshaun Watson.
How much do you think it would cost? It's like 4 first-round picks for Watson. It's going to be like 4 first-round picks.
That's fine. Good. And then he has all these legal issues hanging over his head. Do it. Pull the trigger. Pull it. Yeah. I hope so. AB Santee, hey, good to see you, my man. Really, brother. What up, my peeps? Can't wait for the season. It's about damn time to get rolling. Go Giants. Hopefully we meet up and tailgate soon. Hey, November 28th, man.
Looking forward to it.
28th, baby.
Looking forward to it, baby.
Yeah, that shouldn't be. Really. The only way we're getting Rodgers is to crowdfund enough money to hire Faruqi to negotiate the trade. Let's just focus on DJ this season.
Alphabet, man. And I love Aaron Rodgers, my favorite quarterback. I always say I love Aaron Rodgers. I know Aaron Rodgers. He is not going to want to play in New York. So for all the dreamers, I mean, yeah, I just don't think that. I think he's going to stay in Seattle. Yeah, but for all the people that are saying get Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to control who he goes to.
Yes.
I don't think he seems like the type of guy that's going to want to play for Joe Judge, to be honest with you. Joe Judge is this guy that's working him really hard in training. I don't see it.
Rodgers wants to run the team.
Yeah, I don't see it. He
needs kind of like LeBron did when he was there with Spoelstra in Miami, or not Spoelstra, Blatt in Cleveland. LeBron ran that team. Yeah. LeBron runs the team now in Los Angeles too. He's the GM. He's the coach. He does everything. Tutto, grazie, paisano. Brilli. Giants have all the championship pieces and players in this season, in my opinion. All it takes is hard work and discipline and teamwork. It definitely does.
Yeah, it's good. And the quarterback and the offensive line coming together, for sure.
Yeah, that offensive line is going to need it. It worries me, man. They got to establish a run. They're good run blockers. I felt like they got much better at the end of the year in run blocking. When you get your groove, man, you find your chemistry. You find that unity with run blocking. Linemen like to run block. So hopefully they realize that, they get it going, they find some unity, they get a chemistry going, they find the rhythm, and then do learn to pass block. We're going to need to. It's a bunch of young guys. I still feel like Will Hernandez can do it, man. I don't know what's going on with Will Hernandez, but I just know that's there.
He came in much better shape this year, Hernandez.
I'm not giving up on Will Hernandez. I'm not giving up.
I honestly think Giants fans, and I know it's echoing, guys. I don't know when that's going to go away, but I honestly think Giants fans, and he hasn't been good, but I think they're underrating him a little bit. There's a portion of Giants fans that are saying he's completely done. I disagree with that. I still think he's an average guard in the NFL. I think he'll be okay for the Giants this year. I think he'll be pretty good.
There you go. Nick the Wick, thank you, brother. Really, my man. Chris, you ready to do that lap at FanFest around the lot, G? I don't know if they were lying or if they're actually doing it.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter today. I think it was who said that? License plate guy said that they were going to run a lap around lot G. Hey, man. Hey, I'm a New York Giant fan. If Joe Judge tells me to run a lap, I'm running a lap. So I'll be doing it, Nick, for sure. If we run,
I would love to run a lap. Let me out there. I'll run some of those guys, even at my advanced age. Snacks, my man. Thank you so much, brother. Brilli. Hey, good to have you back, Snacks, because I don't know if you know, but unfortunately you were one of the people that one of my rogue mods blocked. So good to have you back, brother. And glad to see you, man. I am doing well. I hope you are too. The Lakers are going to be here in 2 months, man. 2 months. The Laker fans are ready to go. With all the things they did in the offseason, they're ready to rock and roll, man. Sure. They are ready to go. NFL experts, man. Thank you, brother. Brilli. Hey, guys, love the stream. Tainah, you at FanFest?
See you at FanFest. I'll see you there, NFL experts. I'm looking forward to it, man. Hopefully we get to run a lap together. Lot G, 3 o'clock. Well, 3:15 I'll be there. I'm going with my brother, so that'll be fun too.
Brother Tainah.
Brother Tainah will be there.
There you go. Nice. What is FanFest exactly?
So it's basically like a better version of training camp. At least that's from what I've gathered. It's at the stadium. So it's not at the Quest Center or whatever it is. They got fireworks after the fact. I believe you get to meet former players. Which players, I don't know. I'm hoping Eli Manning because he works for the team, but I'm not going to bank on that. But you get to meet former players. And it's like, you get to watch training camp basically at the stadium. I think it's for 3 hours. I think it's from 6 to 9. So, yeah, it sounds like it's a cooler version, I guess, of a normal training camp.
Fireworks. Good thing JPP's not in the team anymore. Right? I'll tell you that much right now. Actually, I did put that. They had the video of Eli Manning talking about we need fireworks or whatever, and I put that in there. I said, thank God JPP is not part of the team anymore. A lot of guys thought that was funny. They're like, ooh, that's a harsh one. I said, well, harsh but fair. Harsh but fair. Eli should know better. Well, he knows JPP's not on the team. I don't think JPP ended up being pretty damn good. Won another ring, so
hate that. I mean, I'm happy for him, but you hate to see how good he did after he left the Giants.
He did. LA Lou, thank you, brother. Really. What's the latest on Cadarius Toney? Is he practicing, and how's he doing? How's the pick looking up to you now?
Yeah, he's playing, Lou. I think he's played maybe like 4 or 5 consecutive practices now in the pads. And yeah, I mean, I've seen some good write-ups. Word came out now. He missed time earlier in voluntary, rookie, voluntary camp, and that was kind of a big story because they said, why is the only draft pick that wasn't there was the first-round pick by the New York Giants? Came out that his grandmother died, so that was the reasoning.
Well, Judge said he had family.
Yeah, it came out that his grandmother died, so obviously that's a reasonable excuse for why he missed voluntary minicamp. At least the portion that was with the family problem, like you said. I think the original reason was the contract hadn't been signed. But yeah, supposedly he's looking pretty good. He's been out. All I care about is he's out there and he's developing some kind of chemistry with Daniel Jones.
I touch that cord, and every time
it automatically goes to that microphone on my computer, man. I don't know why it does that, but it does that. The Imp with 633. Thanks so much, Brilly. Belichick, Landry, Lombardi equals discipline equals winner. Don't forget about Parcells and Coughlin.
Yeah, Parcells, Coughlin. You go down a laundry list. I mean, we'll see. And I know a lot of people say Belichick.
Shula's another one.
Shula's another one. I know a lot of people say, I mean, Vrabel's doing a pretty good job with Tennessee. He seems to be a little bit, an in-your-face type coach.
Yeah.
So it could work. It could work. It could definitely work.
Yeah. I don't know, man. But yeah, Cadarius Toney, he got off to a weird start with the Giants. Like I said, I don't think it's anything malicious. It's just, it's weird. He held out, which was weird. He had the family issue. He couldn't get the cleats right. He caught COVID, and now he's back. And so that's really all that matters. Again, we just want these guys to be ready for week 1.
Yeah.
But obviously you don't want them to miss reps, which was my big thing with Kenny Golladay. Kind of sucks. Obviously you want him healthy. You can't push it. But at the same time, you really want him to be getting those snaps, those reps with Daniel Jones. You want them to figure this the hell out. This is the time you need to figure it out. And it just kind of sucks. I probably isn't going to play in any of the preseason games because then at least you're going against a real live defense. You're getting hit, and you can try to get your timing and everything else. So that's why that sucks. I mean,
that's the tough part about it. He's going to play week 1, I think, but it's the lack of camp. Now, the one thing I guess from like an optimistic point of view, like I said earlier, I don't think we're going to be doing a ton of throwing the first 2 weeks because of the opponents we're going up against. So maybe it won't hurt us as much as it normally would, the fact that they don't have chemistry. And then the other thing I'll say about Golladay, and it's definitely important for him to get chemistry with Daniel Jones, but he's not like he's not really like a route runner, right? He's more of like a guy that you're going to throw up the 50-50 ball to, like Plaxico Burress used to be,
right.
Which doesn't require as much, I guess, in terms of, like chemistry and a lot of reps together. It's not like a guy like Victor Cruz who you got to have the timing down. This is a guy you're going to line up on the outside and he's going to run a lot of go routes and you're going to try to hit him deep.
Yeah, and he's a red zone guy. I mean, I would imagine you're going to, even though I hate those fades into the corner of the end zone, but it's much better. Like when when who the hell was calling that? Kevin Gilbride will call those fade patterns to Mario Manningham in the corner of the end zone. I'm like, the dude's 5'10". Can we throw it at least with the guy at 6'4"? It was different with Plaxico Burress. It's different with Kenny Galladay.
Yeah.
Again, I think the Giants' red zone offense should be a lot better. You got much better targets. You got Kenny Galladay back down there. You got Kyle Rudolph, and you hopefully you have a healthy Saquon Barkley. And you got a Cadarius Toney who can do a bunch of things down there. So I just think they're going to be a lot. Well, they can't be worse, but I think they're going to improve a lot if they're healthy in that red zone. I really do. I think they're going to be kind of hard to figure out because they can go so many different ways. Well, last year I think they were pretty much, they were going to Noah. Who the hell could they go to down there? Evan Ingram. That was their guy. Now I heard Evan Ingram's actually catching things in practice.
And David Sills, by the way, could potentially make this team. Could be a good red zone threat too. He's like 6'4", and he's having a good camp so far. But yeah, I don't want to say it because he disappoints me every year. But if there was ever a year where I could see Ingram having a good year, it's this one. With the lack of attention he's going to receive,
just has to catch the ball. That's it.
Yeah,
he's open, Chris. We know he can get open. He's a total mismatch, which is what. Again, this is why I think Giants fans get so infuriated with Ingram because again, with Daniel Jones, you see the talent and you know it's there, and it's like he can't do the most basic thing, which is just catch the pass. Yeah. That's why it's like the guy's wide open. They hit him in the hands. He knocks it up in the air. It's intercepted, or he catches the ball. He runs 2 yards. He fumbles. It's like, come on, man, just catch the ball, Evan. It's so easy. A caveman can do it. They don't have those commercials anymore. But I mean, it's like that's why you know that he's got talent. He's 6'2", he's 235, 240. He runs extremely fast. Linebackers can't cover him. Safeties can't cover him. He's always open, which is why Jones continues to throw the ball to him, but he just can't hang on to it.
I'm going to give you the 2 key players on our offense week 1. And SHT says, he's asked this like a million times, so I'm just going to respond to him so he doesn't have to keep typing it. Says, Chris, how do you think about the Knicks? We're going to talk about that at the end of the stream. We're going to talk about the signings at the end of the stream.
We'll talk about that.
But as far as the key players, I think week 1, because again, I look at Denver's team, great secondary. Mm-hmm. Evan Ingram to me is going to be a key player. Because I think they're going to be if they're going to be able to attack a part of that defense in the pass game, it's going to be the linebacker position. It's going to be over the middle of the field with Evan Ingram. And I hate saying that because we know he lets us down, but I think he's a key player in that game. And even though I don't think he's going to have great stats this year in terms of how much he's going to be used in the offense, I could see Toney being a big factor in that game because they're going to have to find ways to create big plays. Exactly. Yep. And I can see Daniel Jones' running ability as well being a big factor in that game too.
Yep. Hope so. I mean, if everything, he just has to catch the ball. He's had a hard time with that his entire career. Just catch the ball, man. That's it. Wolfgang, thank you, brother. Brilly, my man. Biggest challenge besides the O-line this season.
I'll leave Daniel Jones out of it. I'm going to go health, to be honest with you, Baddog. I last year, if you look at the Giants roster last year, we actually stayed relatively healthy outside of Daniel Jones and Barkley, which was our best player. Yeah. But the offensive lines really didn't have any major injuries. The defense outside of McKinney, who was a rookie, and we brought in Logan Ryan anyway, who's a better player at this point in his career. We stayed relatively healthy. I worry about, obviously, Barkley. You worry about Jones. You worry about Galladay. You worry about, there's a number of players on this team. Evan Ingram, Shepard. He didn't get hurt last year. Ingram didn't get hurt last year. We both had significant injury history in the past. That to me is what I worry about because we do have a lot of injury-prone players on this team.
Yeah. John, thank you, brother. Really. Do the contracts of the guys who retire get voided? Do we have enough to sign a veteran or 2 O-linemen? If not, do you think HUGE makes the team? I'm pretty sure those contracts get voided when they retire. They don't get paid. At least, well, I don't know about football. In baseball, I remember Albert Bell could not play because his hip was messed up, and instead of retiring, he just sat out the whole year because they had to pay him. If he retired, they wouldn't. So I don't know if football is different, but I can't imagine if you retire, you're getting paid because I would imagine at that point your contract is up. But I'm not privy to that. I don't know. Chris, you know what the deal is with that?
I looked into Fulton's contract, and I don't know if it's accurate or not. I don't remember which one it was on. It was either one of the 2 sites, the Spot Track, and I forgot the name of the other, Over the Cap. I don't remember which one it was. And I think it said right now it's about $150,000 against the cap. So it was like 1.2. So if that's accurate, I guess there was a certain amount of money that was guaranteed, about 150,000, and I guess he gets that, and he doesn't get the rest. But I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what I saw.
All right. Well, that makes sense. If there's guaranteed money, I mean, they're going to get that no matter what.
Yeah.
But it's not a lot. I mean, it's not a ton. It's not make or break money.
He wasn't making much to begin with.
Right. But thank you, brother. Really, brother. Chris, remember you sold me crack at the Mets game?
I saw him beat at the Mets game randomly. And the craziest thing is, out of all the subscribers that I do have, I knew it was him. It was weird. But, I'm like, I was about to say his name, and I didn't want to offend him if it wasn't him. And I'm like, is this, because he came up and said hello to me. I'm like, is this, I think I said, you hear me say B. He said, you could say it. And it was Bavit, but it was cool getting to meet him. He's been a subscriber of mine since the beginning of my channel. He's been around
forever. If I'm not mistaken, it's him and I always get him and MH mixed up. They've been around together forever. Bavit and MH.
Yep.
Bavit.
I saw Asia too. She gave me
come in the middle of the Laker game. Baddog, you doing the Laker game? First week of the Chris and Baddog, are you doing the Giants game today? Big Daddy, thank you, brother. Brilly. People forgot how bad Eli looked in camp. He also looked good in camp.
He had his ups and downs in camp. This is why, Baddog, I don't pay attention to camp reports. I mean, obviously, you want to hear good things as a fan. But 2019, I remember people were saying that Eli Manning was having the best camp of his career. Mm-hmm. So I don't read. I don't read into camps. I wait till they get on the field week one, and then I start to really assess the team.
Yeah, like I said, camp. Just get out of it healthy. Just do the preseason healthy. Get ready to rock and roll on week one for sure. Simon, thank you, brother. Really. Every single player gonna improve with this coaching. That's the goal, man.
Yeah, I mean, last year, Simon, specifically on the defense, obviously the offense was very underwhelming. But on the defensive side, you look at guys, I mean, Bradbury had a career year. Martinez had a career year. Leonard Williams had a career year. Peppers probably had the best year of his career, especially over the last 8 games of the year. Mm-hmm. Logan Ryan had a great year. So they got the most out of the players on that defense last year. There's no denying it. Patrick Graham did a fantastic job.
He did. That's why we were glad that he stayed on.
Yeah.
Independent outsider, Brilly. He says Barkley and Toney running back tandem. Love to see it. You may see that.
Yeah, I don't think Toney's going to get more than maybe 4 carries in a game, but he'll be used. And I keep saying it. We'll see if they do it. I think you're going to see Toney a lot in the Wildcat. I'm not saying, maybe 2-3 times a game, but I think you're going to see Toney a bit in the Wildcat and have that threat of him or possibly handing it off to Barkley. It's pretty lethal.
Yeah. Dre J, thank you, brother. Brilly. Except for week one, all of our home games are 1 p.m. Frog in my throat here.
I would imagine. I mean, it's East Coast. Usually, if we're at home, if it's not a primetime game, it's going to be at 1.
Yeah, and I don't think we have a lot of primetime games because
I think we had 3, right?
Well, I'm sorry. I mean, like the game of the week.
Oh yeah. We got what do we got? We got I think 2 Monday nights and a Thursday night. We got
we got Washington,
the Bucks, and maybe the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's somebody in the division. I don't remember.
Hopefully, we're getting flexed at the end of the year.
That means we're in it.
Exactly. Dakota, where you been? Brilly. Thank you so much, my man. Bro, how you been, man? Just so you're live and had to join. Missed you and can't wait. Let's go, Dakota. Where you been, man?
What's going on, buddy?
Good to see you. Juicy Whiteman, thank you, brother. Brilly, man. Like I've said, offense just has to play average, at least top 20 on the offense. We destroy this division and go 500 on the road.
I'll say average. I'll say if they're top 15, I think they'll win this division. I'll go a little bit high. I think they got to be a little bit better than top 20, but I think if they're an average offense and the defense does what I think they're going to do, I think they'll win the division.
Yeah, I think you're going to see I think you're going to see old school Giant football.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
By the way, what's his name? David. He used to have a Giants Alliance. He used to have a
yes.
He wrote a great article today. I saw him posted on Twitter, and I couldn't believe the article was about Eli Manning and his Hall of Fame, and we've talked about this at long discussion. But he posted a really good stat that I never even thought about. Eli Manning, because we're talking about how the offense ranks. Eli Manning from 2005 to 2012, the Giants offense didn't rank lower than I think 13, and in 2005, I couldn't believe this. His second year as a quarterback, the offense was 3rd in the league. I was surprised by that stat. Yeah, well, the running game had a lot to do with it.
Tiki had like 2,400 total yards.
Yeah, he was great that year. But it was,
and they picked up Burris that year.
They picked up Burris that year too. But they were top 10 pretty much every year outside of like 1 or 2 with Eli's first like 8 years. Yeah, that helped too.
That helped a lot. Zuhaib, thank you, brother. Really, what going on, fellas? Chris, can you unblock me? I let him know earlier in the stream, Zuhaib, that you
might one of my mods. I probably have the same problem Baddog has, so I apologize. I haven't looked, Zuhaib, so I will look tonight and give it a look.
Yep, I let him know. John, thank you, brother. Really, think we'll be fine running back till Barkley comes back. Booker is a bruiser, and Corey Clement, who is a Super Bowl champion, the slasher speed that can also catch. I heard Clement's doing really good in training camp.
Yeah. I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be Deion Lewis from last year. I think he's gonna be that third down pass catching back. That's I think what his role is gonna be.
Yeah, no doubt. Cody Jins, thank you, brother. Really. I'm late, but hola, amigos, mi amigos. Been busy lately, haven't had time for the bang hole. I met DJ recently, and good Lord, he is big. See you Wednesday, Chris.
Looking forward to it, my man.
Very nice.
Looking forward to it, Cody.
Very nice. Zuhaib, thank you, brother. Really. By the way, I've said this before, but again, if our offense doesn't live up to the hype, we're going to be looking back at letting Zeitler go. Hope all is well. They could. The only thing I can say about that, Zuhaib, is we wouldn't be able to sign the guys we did without cutting him. He was a cap casualty, unfortunately.
For me, because I agree with what you said, because I almost expected, unfortunately, once I saw what the cap was going to be, I almost expected Zeitler to be cut. If anything, if the offensive line is horrible this year, I think it's Slater. I think Giant fans look back and say, he could have drafted Slater, because Slater's getting great write-up so far in camp with the Chargers. That to me would be the regret if the offensive line is really bad this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. And we'll see. Philly 500. Really, thanks so much. He says, Baddog, I'm an ass man. I love it. Philly 500 in the chat, Chris.
What's going on, Philly? Glad that. But I thought you were Philly 500.
Stupid motherfucker! What an idiot!
Philly's here.
What an idiot!
This is when they drafted Hurts. It all sounds alike.
No. That's when the Cowboys took CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that was good.
I was confused. I thought maybe it was when they drafted Jalen Reagor.
Right.
I don't know. It could be so many moments with the Eagles.
It really could be.
When they hired Nick Sirianni.
I was just going to say that when they hired Nick Sirianni. I love Philly 500, man. Philly's great. Good sport about the video I did. He's awesome, man. He's awesome. Philly, you got to come on next. You got to come on next week when I do the 24-hour stream. Always around midnight my time, 9 p.m. your time, 10 p.m. Whenever you can come on, because I like to be really loopy when you come in. With the and Chris, you got to be there too, like we did last year. That was fun.
I'll probably have to come in earlier because I got something going on, but I'll come in like the midday, like noon or something. I'll come in for a bit.
Whatever. I'm there the entire time. So you want to come at 2 a.m, I'm there too.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe late I'll come on.
Really bad. By the way, I see my man Joey Shakes is in the house. By the way, two of the best Eagles content creators out there, Joey Shakes and Philly 500. If you don't know, if you're an Eagles fan hearing this and somehow you don't know either one of those guys, they do a show like this one. They actually were live. I swung in there. I didn't say anything, but they were live like before us. And we definitely, I know I mentioned this to you before, that they wanted to have us on their channel.
We'll do a tag team. We'll do it.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that, guys. We have to do that. We'll do it like the week that we play you guys.
Yeah.
Both times. I think that would be pretty cool if we invaded their stream once and they invade our stream once.
Yeah.
But Joey Shakes seemed to enjoy that Philly 500 soundbite. And who doesn't? But thank you, Joey. Appreciate you, brother. Really, my good man. Who doesn't appreciate that? That's the best soundbite ever. Deception, really. Who do you see as the biggest surprise cut?
I before camp started, I listed Ross as a potential surprise cut. I don't think that's happening now. He's getting great write-ups in camp. I listed Caden Smith as a potential surprise cut. That's not going to happen because now Levine Toilolo's out for the year. So I think both those guys are going to make the team. I haven't heard much about him. I know he was banged up before camp started. I'm not saying he's going to be cut, but would I be shocked? No, and you're asking for a surprise cut. I'll go with O'Shane Ximenez.
That was what I was going to say.
Because they didn't use him much last year, even before the injury. Doesn't really fit the scheme.
They brought in Reggie Ragland. They brought in Azeez Ojulari. I mean, they're loaded there.
I'll go with O'Shane Ximenez as a surprise potential cut for the Giants.
I can see that. I can see it too. Been a disappointment.
Yeah.
Disappointment. Because he showed some signs his rookie year, as did Lorenzo Carter. And then they just kind of regressed a little bit. And, they've been hurt. And we take a Georgia Bulldog every year. So hopefully Ojulari's the man this year. Because DeAndre Baker, Andrew Thomas, Lorenzo Carter, Aziz Ojolari. We take Rodney Hampton. He was a good one.
It's got to work eventually.
Well, I worked with Rodney Hampton, so maybe 30 years later we got the guy. John, thank you, brother. Billy, my man. He says, good seeing you guys. Always great content. Bad Dog, you ready for Ryan Reeves or his Tom Wilson fight? Have to go. Good night, Bad Dog and Chris. I don't watch the fights, man. I'm just not into
I'm not a big fight guy either. But John, have a great night, man. Thank you for popping
too,
in.
John. Thanks so much, buddy. Really appreciate it. Imp, thank you for the super chat. Really. He says 24 hours. Impressive bladder. Oh, no, I go to the bathroom.
You just wear a diaper, don't you?
I wish. No, we count pee breaks. We count them. Somebody has a pee counter.
How much you have last time? 8, 9, 10?
It was like 18.
18 pee breaks?
I pee like once an hour.
Wow.
You see how much I drink?
You're like a newborn baby. They pee like around the clock, don't they? Because they're so small.
Do you see how much I drink? It's incredible. Dude,
18
I go through
times. You might want to see a doctor.
Chris, I drink a 2-liter Coke during a Laker game. That's
Wow.
3. That's like 2 hours. In the 2 hours, I'm drinking 2 liters of Diet Coke. My wife brings me a gigantic coffee to start the day off. I always have coffee before I start the stream. And then through it all, I'm drinking beer with DWG. I'm drinking soda because I got to keep my voice for 24 hours. So I got to constantly drink something. So, yeah. I do. It's like 18 times. I think it was 6, maybe 16. It's like every hour and a half or something. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That's
I
impressive.
mean, how many times do I end during a game or during our stream like Chris? I got to go hit the bathroom.
Well, once you break the seal,
Yeah.
it just keeps
And that's true. I usually don't. Yeah, maybe it's not. It usually takes like a couple of hours, 3 hours. But yeah, once I go, it's like, all right, I got to go. I got to go to the bathroom again. I got to go to the bathroom. Someone's counting it all the time. I wish. And we make it through. I always got guys understand. Like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. And the other thing I don't like to do on stream is eat. I hate eating, but I have to. There's nothing I can do.
That kind of stream you have
Gotta
to
eat.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have some pizza.
There you go.
Pizza is always a good one because if I, at 2 in the morning when I'm hungry, or 3 in the morning, at least I have some leftover pizza.
Yeah, you can have cold pizza. It still tastes good.
That's still damn good, man. Adam Mikowski, thank you, brother. Brilly, my man. He says, do you think signing a reader or is it writer? How do you say that?
I think it's. I've said it both ways. I forgot how it's pronounced. I think it's writer.
All right. Writer, reader, writer, reading and writing, arithmetic. He says is more of a possibility now after the retirements. Mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. I hope we get him. That's a guy that I've talked about really since May. As a guy that I think the New York Giants should have their eyes on. But I personally think the Giants are going with the starting lineup they've got. Yeah, they've talked about that. Gettleman and Judge have talked about how much confidence they have in Lemieux and the young offensive linemen that they have. And if that's the case and they're not guaranteeing Ryder a starting job, he may look at it like, listen, I just started 2 years for the Kansas City Chiefs. I was probably their best offensive lineman last year. Not that that's saying much. Their offensive line was bad. But he may be looking for either a guaranteed starting job or where he really thinks he could come in and compete. And he may be waiting for some injuries as training camp proceeds with other teams to get an opportunity. So that's the only reason why I think he is not a Giant right now. That's just me speculating and guessing. But if they could bring him in, I think it's a great pickup. At a bare minimum, he'd be a very good backup offensive lineman.
I knew that happened again. Stupid thing.
All right. Good microphone again. All right. Imp, thank you so much, brother. Really. Manuka honey helps the throat. I've heard this about the throat. People ask me how I do the Laker games like that and not hurt my throat. One time I did throw my throat out, man. I
throw my throat out all the time when I do the Knicks game.
I went out and I was going. Somebody started calling me Bad Doc Rivers because I did the rest of the game. I sounded like Doc Rivers till I came back. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Football doesn't happen with the Knicks. I guess because it's just nonstop. If they do a back-to-back, I lose my voice.
I'm the iron lung. It doesn't. Yeah. I can do this all the time. I mean, I did the 24-hour stream last year, and I did the Laker game later that night.
Yeah.
I'm the iron lung. I came out of the womb talking, yelling. That's what I do. That's why I yell all the time. That's my wife. And as Meat gave me that, I don't know where that little patch is. It says I'm not yelling. I'm Italian. That's true. That's just how we talk. This is nothing. I'm not yelling at you. I'm just Italian. L.A. Lou, thank you for the super chat, really. But he says he's drinking through to 24 plus. He's sitting through that stretch. That pressures your bladder. That's okay. We'll wait. I appreciate you. And they do. Punkham's there 24 hours. Afghanistan's there 24 hours. Lou's there 24 hours. Dire Giants fans there 24 hours. I mean, Dominic Pope's like, I'm going to be there all 24 hours. these guys are more insane than me because they don't have to be there, but they are. Bobby will be there. He'll fall asleep, like I said, at like 5 a.m. and he'll apologize. We don't have to. But that's why you guys and girls are the best, man. The fact that I have 95 people in my stream at 4:30 in the morning it's overwhelming, man. It's awesome. Zoo-Abe, thank you, brother. Brilly, my man. You guys talking about the Hall of Fame yet? Brady is no doubt the GOAT. But throughout their careers, my eyes always told me Peyton was better, though Brady has rings. Hope to see you guys soon. Good night. That is always, you and I disagree. You say Peyton, I say Brady.
I think Brady's better.
Oh, you do?
I think Brady's better. I think Peyton was a better regular season quarterback. But when the more I looked in, thought about Peyton, and the guy shrunk in the playoffs. I mean, he did. And when you really look at his playoff numbers, they're not super impressive. Peyton is the smartest quarterback in the history of the NFL, at least since I've been watching the sport. I can't say the history, but since I've been watching, Peyton revolutionized the game. He changed the game. He had to go up against Belichick. Brady didn't. That's a factor that nobody ever talks about.
Yeah.
And he did a lot with what he had. But you could also say he played in the Dome. He had a Hall of Fame running back. He had 2 Hall of Fame wide receivers. Very impressive that he won a Super Bowl with 2 different teams, even though he had very little to do with the second Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos. But I got to go. Brady's the GOAT. I mean, Brady's got 7 Super Bowls. He's done
more Super Bowls than any team in the history of football.
Brady's the GOAT. And I think you could even make an argument that, you could even, when you factor in how poorly, when you really look at Peyton Manning's playoff numbers, you could even make it at least an argument that guys like Aaron Rodgers are at least on the Peyton Manning level, in my opinion, where Brady is just on his own level. Like he's number one. It's not even a debate. He's number one.
Yeah, I've been saying that for years. Just glad people are coming around. But and our quarterback beat him twice, so it's all good, best. But that's why Brady's he's the GOAT, and our guy beat him twice, so put him in the Hall of Fame. Jerry Maes, thank you, brother. Brilly. Whoa, am I reading this right? No, there's nothing strong in this. Just Coke, Diet Coke. Let me. As an Eagles fan, I think Daniel Jones is better than Jalen Hurts. Did we just find an intelligent Eagle fan?
I think we did. That's not saying much. Like that's like saying that Daniel Jones could be a starter in the NFL, but still,
he's right.
Yeah, no, I agree with him. I agree.
Wow, Jerry, kudos. Good to see. There's some brain cells in that fan base. Speaking of brain cells, Philly, thank you for the super chat. Really. I can't wait to do a tag team with you and Chris. Pause.
I was gonna say I didn't see the pause part at first, Phil. I was like, I don't know about that kind of tag team.
It'll be fun. Mark Holmes going crazy. I guess he wants some. Love you guys. We love you too, Philly.
What's up, Philly?
Oh, Mark Holmes. People. You know what's funny, Philly? I did the whatchamacallit? I did the video, and I got people on there saying, "Do Mark Holmes next." They're like, "Do Mark Holmes." Like, I could definitely do Mark Holmes. I'd have to find some hair though. I don't have hair. Mark does.
You get a wig.
So I would have to do, but I definitely have something for him.
No.
I definitely have a video in mind for Mark.
Save that for Cowboys week. That's early in the season.
That'll be fun. Yeah, the Philly one I had to do because if I save it to the Eagles week and the Eagles are like say they're 3-7 or whatever they are at that time, say they're not good, that video wouldn't have made any sense.
Yeah,
I had to do it before the year started to say, hey, we're going to be 14-3, we're going to be 15-2, we're the greatest. Because if they were bad, I couldn't exaggerate, the way our beloved Philly does.
You know, all you got to do with Mark Holmes is just literally you should just say one word the entire video. Dak.
Oh, trust me, it's got something to do with that. Trust me. I think maybe Cowboys week I will. That's week 5. I think I can muster up a Mark Holmes video for you guys.
Yeah.
All in good fun. I think I could do that. Benjamin, brother, Brilly. Why is Sirianni talking about hot dogs and Joey Chestnut at his press conference? Mad sus. He's probably KP's uncle, to be honest.
What's up, Benjamin?
Benjamin cracks me down a lot, man. He's hilarious. Christian, thank you, brother. Brilly. Watching the Giants. He goes watching the toilet. There's another Washington fan who can't beat Daniel Jones and still talks shit. I'll tell you what. Daniel, you might as well be in the toilet because Daniel Jones has pissed on you his entire career.
I mean, technically, he's right, Christian. I mean, 4-0. You say whatever you want about Daniel Jones. He owns you guys.
Yeah, it don't matter. Watching the toilet. I mean, God, you guys have won 10 games, 3 times in 30 years? That's pretty good. You got a good organization going on over there. You guys are doing a good job. When's the last time you won a playoff game? For real. When's the last time you won a Super Bowl? Were you even alive the last time they won a playoff
I
game?
was actually
Not you.
Yeah,
him.
yeah. That is probably the first game I remember watching in its entirety. I watched games before, but I don't remember. That Super Bowl against the Bills where they blew them out.
Yeah.
That was like 6 or 7. That is like I think that's the first game I remember watching, and it was a horrible game. Washington destroyed them.
Yeah. Listen, Washington fans should never say, you don't test me, man. Because we kicked the shit out of you. Eagles fans, I still trash talk them, but they've kicked our ass. I'll trash talk Cowboys fans. They've kicked our ass. I can trash talk them, but you guys come in here. I don't even say anything to Washington fans. They come in here and they try to troll, and then you're going to get slapped around. You're getting paintbrushed right now. Daniel Jones has paintbrushed you his entire career. He's got 8 total wins. 4 of them were against Washington.
I was just thinking, Baddog. I think is that the last time they won a playoff game?
No. I think they won one in 2000, 2001. When the hell is the last time they won a playoff game? Someone said 91. Machiavelli said 91.
It was the Super Bowl.
Is that the last time they won? No, they had to win a playoff game after that. Somewhere.
Well, think about. I don't think Cousins ever made the playoffs. Griffin made it. They lost.
No, this has to be in the 90s at some point.
Campbell was horrible.
They won. They did good in the early 2000s at some point. Well, who cares? They suck.
Somebody said 2007. So I guess they won in 07. They won in 07. They won a playoff game.
Did they?
The year we went to the
Super Bowl? Won the Super Bowl?
Maybe it was the 07 Super Bowl season. Because 07, who were the playoffs? It was
we beat Dallas.
We were a wild card. We beat the Bucks. Then we beat Dallas. So
Green Bay.
3 teams made the division, the playoffs that year. Washington was but they didn't win. Did they win? They were the 6th seed, weren't they?
I don't think they won. You know what? They suck.
Maybe they did. I'm trying to remember.
But we won the division. We won it, man. We got division champion. We the defending champion. That's pretty sweet. 7-9 is good, man. And you had to wait. The Eagles had to give you the game. You couldn't even beat. The Eagles weren't even trying, and they were right in the damn game until they put Nate Sudfeld in there. I mean, come on, man. What the hell are you talking shit to us for?
2005, by the way.
What's
2005, by the way, is the answer. They won in 05, they're saying.
That's not bad.
No.
I wasn't even 30 yet. I'm in my middle 40s now. Yeah. Wow. That's a long time, man. That's a long time. Yeah. I think it's the last time they beat the Giants, too. Anyway. Who's thinking about it? Because Eli was 24-8 against them in his career. I mean, they can't beat us. They've never beaten us. In my life, we always kick the hell out of them, man. Booze, thank you, brother. Brilly. He says, dynamic duo, let's go, Giants. You can tell it's football season here, Chris, because I'm ready to talk some shit.
What's going on, Booze, man? Glad to see you, buddy.
I'm ready to talk some trash. I'm ready for it. So, because I can talk trash now because we ain't played. You know, when we get into November, it might be a little bit more difficult than it has been the last few years. Although when we were 1-6, I came out with a vision. Said, we're the best team in the division. People thought I was insane. And we won.
For about 4 or 5 weeks. For about 4 or 5 weeks, it looked like it.
Yeah, I tell you, man. I saw it.
Yeah.
So. Simon, thank you for the super chat. Brilly. He says, I have zero fear in my mind when we play Washington football team. Zero. All I can say, Simon, is much like we were due to beat Philly and Dallas, Washington is due to beat us.
They got a good team. They got a good team. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not undercutting them this year. Washington's got a good team. They got a really good defense. Fitzpatrick, we'll see. But in terms of their defense is legit, and they have some weapons on offense. They got a good team.
Yeah. They do. And like I said, it's got to happen eventually. I hope it doesn't this year. But if it does, man, you know, it's inevitable. I mean, both the games you played last year were close. They went for 2 at the end of the game. They missed. They were trying to win. They could have tied it. If they tied it, they probably would have beat us in overtime. Second game, we barely beat them. They had 5 turnovers.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're killing them, but we're fighting. It's like us against the Eagles. Like the Eagles don't kill us. But we always find a way to lose.
Yep.
And Washington's the same way. We don't bury them, but they always find a way to lose. It's really weird how that works.
We just have their number, and the Eagles have ours.
It must be matchup. I don't know, man. It is strange how that works. It was just nice to beat. Listen, the only thing we didn't do last year, the only thing I didn't see was Daniel Jones take a step up because I said I want to see him take a step up. And we both said this and beat Dallas and Philly. He did do that. He did beat both those. He should have swept Philadelphia. Actually, we could have won.
Should have swept the division. Should have swept the division.
But regardless, we didn't. But we did beat them each once, which was big for him. I think. And we beat them the last game he played. So going into this year, he's saying, I know I can beat those guys. And I think that goes a long way. I think with Washington, he did beat them a couple times, and he's like, I know I can do it. So I think that's part of the reason, too. He's just confident against them.
And that was a big game, that Cowboys game. Yeah, that was a playoff game, essentially. So it was good for him to get that experience the last game of the year.
I agree. Benjamin, thank you, brother. Brilly. He says, I agree with Chris. Max and KP are the best couple. Did you say that?
Well, yeah. He gave me a list of about 6 couples, and I went with Max and KP.
I mean, okay. I can
I mean, it's 2021,
It is, and these young guys nowadays teach their own. It's it's all good. It's all good, but we appreciate you being here. But if you haven't done so, hit the like. We still got 473 people in here, so smack the like. Always subscribe, and more importantly, man, make sure you go. And I'm sure my mods have been doing it. My mods are great about this. But if you haven't done so, subscribe to the Entertaining Talking Sports link down below in the description. Make sure you sub him up. We'll be doing this again next week on his channel. I'm thinking probably Thursday night would be best, Chris. I can't do it Friday night because I have to sleep. And obviously I can't do it Saturday, neither can you.
Yeah, well, Wednesday's Fan Fest. So, yeah, I can do it Thursday. Yep.
We'll do it Thursday night because that way I can sleep on Friday before the massive 24-hour stream. And then, then we'll talk about it. And then after this weekend, we'll actually have a game to talk about, which will be nice.
Wait. Oh, yeah. No. I was going to say you're going to do it the day after the 20. No, you have the 24-hour and 2 days after that. Okay. Yeah.
What's that?
Your 24-hour stream is 2 days after when we're going to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But then, like I said, at least we'll have going forward. We're going to have a lot to talk about once we get into these preseason games.
Yeah. I'll be able to talk about Fan Fest at least next week.
Right.
So I'm sure there'll be some stuff from there that I want to talk about.
Yeah, and that'll be freaking awesome. And before you know it, the football season's gonna be August. Flies by. The summer flies by. Yeah. I swear July just started, and here we are, almost the middle of August. Now I look forward to the 24-hour stream all the time because it's my vacation. I have a vacation after that, which is nice. That's good. What I love about this, man, is I love that there's so many of my guys and girls that look forward to that. That means the world to me. Like, I can't wait for the tour. Like, I'll finish it. Like, I can't wait for the next one, which is 6 months away. But that's the coolest thing, man. Christian, thank you, brother. Brilly, 7-9. But y'all are crying about not winning it at 6-10. I don't understand this. So some people whine about it, but that's everybody. You can go back and look at anything I said. I said, hey, the Eagles tanked. That's a fact. They did, but we didn't win enough games. We didn't do enough. So no. Not complaining about it. The other thing, Chris, I always kind of laugh at this. Whenever you talk about things that are actually happening, like the offensive line stinks, Daniel Jones has no chance. It's, you're crying. I don't understand.
No, you're analyzing the team.
Right, but how did you're crying? What are you talking about? When you're talking about what's going on and what you're watching, that is not crying. That is, like you said, that's analyzation.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen a lot, these guys that have their gray pick YouTube troll accounts, they cry. Yeah, okay. Well, whatever you say.
I'm with you though, in terms of the record. Like, I mean, I was happy with the way that overall, obviously you're not happy that we went 6-10, but I was happy with a lot of things that happened last year, but we didn't deserve to make the playoffs. Like you said, we were 6-10. Nobody said that. We just thought that the Eagles were a disgrace for tanking in the method in which they did.
Yeah.
But we didn't deserve to make the playoffs. But there were things that we really liked last year. We played some really good teams tight. We played the Bucks tight. We beat the Seahawks in Seattle. We played the Rams tight. Pittsburgh, we played even pretty tight the first game of the year until it kind of got away from us late. But we played good teams close last year, and we were happy about that and the growth of the team. But we didn't deserve to make the playoffs.
No, definitely not. Janice. No, it's a staycation. My wife works that week. Although at the end of the week, we may do something. We'll see. I don't know. We're trying to figure that out, but we'll see. I definitely don't play because she doesn't have that week off. I get more vacation time than her. I get a lot of vacation time. Whoops, I just missed that. Imp, thank you for the super chat. Brilly. He says, good night, guys. I'm eating the Imp Ailer for a snack. Well played.
Imp, be good, man.
Be good, brother. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. It's 11:35, so we got a few more minutes. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to the bathroom, Chris, because this is what happens. You talk to the chat. I got to go to the bathroom. Pee count number 1. Get ready. Get your pee counter ready. Next week. I'll be right back.
I see everybody saying echo, guys. I can't do anything about that. That seems to happen every now and again. It might be my old computer. I don't know. So whenever I do a show with somebody else, New computer now is going to be another week, he said. They sent it into Apple again. So hopefully that'll definitely be good to go before the start of the season, which is what matters the most. But that's probably the reason. So if there's an echo, I know I could hear it on my end as well. Right now, there's not one. But let me talk to the chat. What's going on there? Kayla, man, can't go. And Juice World, he says, Chris, there is no it's a girl, actually, Juice. Bring her on now. But she's sleeping. She's sleeping. I showed you on Instagram. I showed you a video of Neo on Instagram. Guys, what would make a successful season for you? Successful season for me right now, playoffs. You know, that's a successful season for me. 9-8, making the playoff, a winning record, playoffs, beating a couple of good teams this year. That's a successful season for me. You know, last year we've really only beaten one good team over the last 2 years, and that's the obviously the Seattle Seahawks last year. I don't count anybody in our division as a good team last year, even though the Cowboys were pretty. You know, we thought they'd be pretty good going in, but after Dak went down. So we've really only beaten one good team. So beat some good teams, win 9 games. If they miss the playoffs and win 9 games, it's a semi-successful season. Have a winning record this year and hopefully make the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. I heard the question when I was in the bathroom. But I agree. I think we have to beat winning teams. This is something Daniel Jones has not beat a winning team yet because that was Colt McCoy under center when we beat Seattle. He has to do it. Want to see him not regress anymore. The guy's got to get better. Needs some signature moments. But yeah, this Giants team went out, like we said, man. You know, Dave Gettleman took a massive swing at this in free agency. Then grabbed Adoree Jackson as well, gave him $39 million. A lot of people thought we overpaid. But this is the make or break year. And I think that we need a winning record, and we need to at least be right there and not compete for the division at 6-10.
No.
We lose it if Dallas, say, is 11-6 and we're 10-7, and we lose it.
You can't complain with that. You can't complain with that.
That's what I'm saying. That's successful. But I don't think 8-9 successful. I think
it's a winning record. It's a winning record.
Is over. You know, you got the Neo? I heard you mention Neo, right? From Juice
and
World.
then he gave you another one about Neo.
I see that right there.
Yeah.
Juice, Brilly, man. So yeah, I forgot she's a girl, and Neo was rude on vid.
I know. I was trying to get her to say hello to the camera, and she wanted to keep walking. It was hot out, Juice World. I'm sorry, man.
Hey, man. Dogs got to do what a dog's got to do. You know, they like to walk, man. But yeah, man, I think the Giants are going to be better. The health is always a big question, and the Saquon Barkley thing is kind of worrying me. But I didn't think he'd be ready for week 1. It takes a long time to recover from that. And I mentioned this in the video too. If it's not completely healthy, you don't want to put him out there. And then you have the guy, favoring that leg, and then he ends up hurting something else. Because that inevitably happens. You favor an injury. It happened to Robert Griffin. I mean, the guy was never the same. They killed him. Washington destroyed the man's career.
Yep.
You don't want to do that with Saquon Barkley.
And the other thing, that I look at, when I really thought about it, because I want to see Barkley out there just like everybody else. He's the best player in this football team. I have no doubts when I say that. He changes this offense when he's completely healthy. But even if, Baddog, he was 100%, I think I'd still sit him week 1 or give him a very limited role. And the reason I say that, you have a quick turnover. You're playing on Thursday. You're playing 3 days later. And we know there's a tendency in the NFL to have a lot of injuries on Thursday Night Football. Do I really want to put him in that situation coming off the injury he had to start the year? I don't know. Maybe a very limited role just so he gets used to getting hit a little bit, 4 or 5 touches. But I'm not giving him a ton of touches week 1 knowing that I got to play on Thursday Night Football just 3 days later coming off that injury. So if I'm the Giants, I'm not – and if he's not ready by week 2, I wait till week 3. But if I think I wait till week 2, even if I feel like he's 100% going into the year to really start to ramp up his touches.
Yeah, and again, I think he's got to get in football shape too. You can't, I've talked about this too. You can't just be in the gym working out. It's one thing to be in good physical shape and working out at the gym and everything else. It's another thing to be in football shape. It's another thing to have that endurance as a football player to be able to take these hits, to be able to run the ball 20 to 25 times, to catch the ball and go out on routes and block and everything else. That's something your body has to get acclimated to again. You're not doing that in the gym. You're certainly not doing that when you're rehabbing a knee. So, yeah, even if he is 100%, he's not going to get a full workload for the first couple of weeks. I can't see that. I think maybe you got to ease him into it, maybe 10 to 15 carries, 10 to 15 touches or whatever. Then maybe the next game he gets 20 touches. and then maybe he's ready to go in the third week. But you don't want to push the guy and have him get hurt. It's just not
But if it's me, honestly, if he's 100% to start the year, I'm giving him like 4 or 5 touches just so he gets a feel, gets used to getting hit because of that quick turnover.
Right.
I'm not giving him a ton of touches week 1. I want to, but coming off that injury, I'm not doing that. And then against Washington, if he's 100%, give him 15 touches, and then like you said, progressively, build it up.
Yeah, sometimes you got to lose the battle to win the war. And that's how it goes. I have those days in the gym. My shoulder's barking. Listen, I'm not going to be able to bench as much as I normally do. Or, my leg hurts. I'm not going to be able to push as much. Sometimes you just got to say, I'm just going to be in here. I'm going to go through the motions. I'm not going to push myself, and I'll get them next time. That happens a lot. But, that's what you want to do because you don't want to hurt yourself. Then you're out for 3 weeks. Well, I don't want to do that at the gym. And you certainly don't want to do that with Barkley where he hurt something and he's out for another 3-4 weeks. It's just not going to be any. You can't have that, man. He's got to be healthy. Christian, thank you, brother. Really, really bad dog. More like bad cat. I see you, Christian. Listen, it's okay, man. You can say that. It's all good. I embarrassed you. It's okay. Washington, Daniel Jones embarrasses Washington. It's okay, man. It's okay. It's all good. I got no problem with Washington. I don't like Washington, but I don't hate you guys like I hate the other teams. I don't. But
no, it's not even close. And maybe that'll change in 5 years. Maybe, if Washington starts getting really good, maybe I'll develop more of a hatred for him, but not even close. Eagles and Cowboys way above you guys.
Oh, God, yeah. That goes back to, like I said, that goes back to my childhood and Buddy Ryan. I hate the Eagles, man. I can't stand that team at all. I can't stand him. Slink says, I just want to get up to a point where I think we can win with Jones right now. I'm just waiting for him to lose the game. Don't trust him with the game on the line. I don't think you're alone.
I think everybody would agree with you. I mean, I think we said this, and I'm not saying he can't get better. I definitely think he can, especially now that I think he's got a better supporting cast. But what is Daniel Jones' signature moment outside of the Bucs game?
Right.
I mean,
that makes sense.
I mean, the Eagles game he played great. But of course, everybody remembers him falling down.
His signature moment.
Yeah, but he played great in that game. But obviously Ingram drops the ball. That would have been a great performance. But and the Washington game was terrific where he threw 5 touchdowns with Barkley in the lineup. So I don't want to leave that one out. But they were a horrible team that year. So he doesn't have a lot of signature moments. So it's like he had opportunities last year, right? He had the game against the Rams down the stretch. I think he had a chance against the Bears down the stretch. Even the Steelers going into the fourth quarter, he had a chance to take the lead. Yeah. So he had his opportunities in big spots last year.
Tampa,
yep, 2-point conversion at the end as well. Just played horrible in that game throughout. And he had his opportunities last year to have those signature moments. Played good against the Cowboys the last game of the year. But, I mean, I'm with you, man. He needs to, like we said, he needs situational moment. He needs to be better in situational football this year. That's what I need to say.
Yep, yeah, and that'll be good. What did I just look at there? Oh, Go Eagles says because we own y'all. Listen, man, I've been watching the Giants since 1984. You didn't always own us. We beat the hell out of you in the late 90s, beat you like 4 straight years, beat you like 7 or 8 in a row. You own us now. That's got nothing to do with it. I have always hated Philadelphia. Like I just said, that goes back to the Buddy Ryan days. Now, I know a lot of Eagle fans that just jumped on the bandwagon in 2017 have no idea who the hell Buddy Ryan is or who Ron Jaworski is or who Randall Cunningham is. I get it. You don't know who Anthony Toney is or Heath Sherman. You don't know who Mike Quick is. You don't know who Keith Jackson. I get it. You don't know.
We're tied all time, aren't we? Or I think
it's somewhere close. But
I think we're tied. Or if we're not tied, it's like a game apart. Like we're Giants and Eagles.
So it didn't always work that way. I've hated them I've watched the Giants for 38 years now. I've hated the Eagles for 38 years. It's just how it goes. It's fact. I didn't hate Dallas till 1992.
They own us historically.
All the bandwagon fans.
Historically,
yeah, but all the bandwagon fans jumped down to 92. Then I started hating them, but I didn't hate them. 80s and 90s, I had no problem with Tom Landry. I didn't have a problem with those guys, but I didn't like Dallas, but I didn't hate them the way I do now. And that turned, like I said, that was the bandwagon people. On YouTube, we saw a big influx of Eagle fans after that. And I was here for that. So I saw a big influx of Eagle fans after 2017. I saw that.
If the Giants ever win a Super Bowl, everybody's going to be a Giants.
Oh, that's great. I'm welcome them aboard. I was here for that too. So yeah. I know. Sumo, thank you, brother. Really, really. Hey, did you talk about the Eagles coach showing the team the hot dog contest video to teach attention to detail? Can't make that up.
I didn't hear about that until now. Benjamin said it earlier. I didn't even know about that. The Philly 500, did you talk about that in one of your videos? I know you love Sirianni. Did you talk about how? Yeah, I can't even do an impersonation like you can, but yeah, I think the hot dog eating contest. I think that's going to teach the offensive lineman how to get beefier and how to block better. I think he's doing a great job. I think he's going to bring us to Super Bowl. I mean, I don't know what it is with Sirianni, and again, Baddog, it's fun to make fun of him. But you know what? At the end of the day, it was Joe Judge last year. People were making fun of him for the tennis balls and the laps and everything else. At the end of the day, if the team produces and the players love playing for the coach, that's all you care about.
All that matters.
But it seems like Sirianni definitely has weird tendencies. I guess now with a hot dog video with the rock, paper, scissors and everything else. So I don't know. I don't know what you got going on over there, Philly.
Nick Sirianni. Let me tell you about Nick Sirianni, okay? Let me just tell you something right now about Nick Sirianni. Not many coaches are going to show the team a whole hot dog eating football or a hot dog eating contest. And you know why? Because nobody knows how to do it. That's why Nick Sirianni's different. Usually they show somebody eating a hamburger or something. We're showing hot dogs because a hot dog's shaped like a football. Then everybody knows how to put the hot dog in the bun. He was looking at John Madden and go, boom! And that's what's going on. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's looking at old John Madden tapes and talking about brats. Billy, thank you for the super chat. Brilly says the signature moment is your guys' reaction to him being drafted.
Hopefully that's not the signature moment, and we point at that and laugh in 10 years.
I hope so.
I fucking fire motherfucker. Stupid motherfucker. What an idiot.
That's Philly's signature moment. I can't get enough of that. I love that. Oh, man, it's great. Benjamin, thank you for the super chat. Brilly. Philly's never going to live that down.
I don't remember saying this story, but it did happen. I don't remember telling that story. I guess I did on YouTube. Otherwise, how would he know it? But go ahead.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. My man, Brilly says the amount of times KP comes in here and says yo or sup has got to be more than Baddog's piss breaks in 24-hour stream. That's a lot of piss breaks. Can't wait for all that nonsense. Oh, and there's a ton of nonsense at the end of that thing because I don't even know what the hell ends up at that point. I want to hear the story of Chris getting slapped by his ex at a club.
You want to hear it now, or do you want to hear it when I do on the 24-hour stream? I guess I've told that story before. Otherwise, how the hell would he know it? I don't remember telling that, but that is a true story. I did get slapped by my ex at a club when I was about 24, 25. I got caught gawking at another woman. I mean, that's the short end of the short part of the story. I didn't do anything wrong. She was clearly very insecure. But there was a really hot girl up on the stage. She was singing. And yeah, I definitely got caught in the act. Like the jaw was dropped, the eyes were bright, and I turned around, I got a slap in the face. And then on top of it, on the way out, and she was hot, by the way, the girl on the stage. On the way out, my girlfriend takes me by the hand and she walks me over to the girl and she's at the bar getting a drink and she says, "Hey, this is my boyfriend, Chris. He seems to really like you. Maybe you guys should get to know each other." And then she stormed out of the bar. We talked for about 20 minutes. Nothing ever happened, but that's the short part of the story. I did get smacked in the face. With my ex. So there you go. There's an ex story for you, Ben.
Listen, so you were just being a man.
I was being a man.
Yeah, listen, I say it all the time, man. I'm married. I'm not dead. I mean, I don't care how old, how young you are. I don't care how long you've been with your wife or husband, whatever the hell it is. You are human. You are going to look. And just because you ordered don't mean you can't look at the menu. If I drive a new car off the lot and I see another nice new car, I'm not going to be like, oh, I can't look at the car. Of course, you're like, oh, man, that's a nice Benz. I saw a Mercedes-Benz in here, by the way. When you hooking Chris and I up with the Benz, I'll take one of them like black CRVs. Love that thing. I'll take one of those. That'll look good wrapped around me. I would look good in that thing. But, listen, my wife's caught me too. It happens. I can remember that. I remember I was, I was where we were, Atlantic City. It was a card show or something. So I was just with a bunch of my guy friends. And of course, you're guys. You're like, oh, man, yeah. So when I got back, I remember we were at the Saratoga. We were at the track, and these two girls were walking by. They had like sundresses on or whatever. And I just, I'm not thinking. And I'm just like,
well, your brain goes dead when you see a hot girl.
Right. I just see them. I see these two, and they look at me. So I'm like, do I know them? So I turn my head like this, and my wife, when I turn, she's like right there, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. She's just like, mm-hmm. I'm like, what do you do? I'm like, oh well, yeah. I'm sleeping in the garage tonight. It happens. At least you didn't smack me. which
Yeah.
is good.
Oh no, I should have broken up with her right then. I was young. I was stupid. That if that happened now, that's instant breakup.
Oh, God.
You smack me in a
abuse.
public place for looking at another girl. I'm a man, okay?
Yeah, I'm a man, baby. I'm a man.
I don't got no ring on my finger. I mean, even if you do, like you said, you could at least look at the menu. You just don't order any food.
Right, you don't order anything. But
It's like you know when you like go out to dinner, Baddog, and you know you're not getting dessert, but you just like I want to look at the menu anyway.
the dessert cart.
Yeah, like you know you're not getting dessert. You're stuffed. You ate your meal, but the waiter comes and says, "You guys want to take a look at the dessert menu?" Yeah, I want to see what you guys have to offer. That's what it is. You know, you could look at the dessert menu. You just can't get the chocolate sundae.
I don't know why women act like they don't look too. They gotta look. They look. I
Yeah.
don't care. That don't bother me. Go ahead. You're human. I don't care. I don't care. It is what it is. But yeah, that's it's just what can you do? You're human, man. That's never gonna go away.
Yeah.
You know, the day that men don't find women is the day we stop breathing air.
Exactly.
I mean, I remember talking to a guy that was like in his 80s. When I owned part of the card shop, and he was one of the customers, and he was talking about this really hot like girl. He wasn't in his 80s, maybe he was like 75. He was an older gentleman. He was retired. He was just helping out, and he was talking to me about one of the girls that works at Stewart's. Stewart's, I don't know if you guys I don't think you have them. It's an upstate New York thing. It's a little convenience store. They make their own ice cream. They make their own milk. It's a good convenience store. It's very popular.
Yeah, but they actually used to have them here. They don't have them anymore, but they used to. Yeah.
So he's telling me about this. So I say to him, I go, so that never goes away. You always like, oh God, that doesn't go away. Of course I'm still looking. 75. Been with his wife 50 years. He's still looking. I mean, come on, man.
The amazing guy said this conversation. It's two guys talking. You bring up women. Sometimes me and Bad Dog, we go on tangents. Sometimes you talk food. Sometimes we talk women. We can't help it.
Yeah, what it is. I don't know why the conversation's weird. I don't know what's weird about a man looking at a woman.
It's two guys talking about
not
chicks,
weird
man.
to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, Cruz Madrid, thank you for this. It happens. This is what happens when we don't really have a ton of football yet. Brilly says, hey, Bad Dog and Chris, I just wanted to send the super chat to say I've been feeling really sick lately. Watching guys have really helped me out a lot, so I really appreciate you guys. Go G-Men. Well,
appreciate that, Cruz.
We're sorry to hear that you're sick, and hopefully you get better, whatever the hell's ailing you, man. Kick its ass.
Yeah.
Whoop its ass.
Hope you feel a lot better, man. Hope you feel a lot better, Cruz, man. Thank you, though, for the kind words.
Yeah, the Dire Giants fan says, amazing guy. You should have seen these streams 3 years ago.
Yeah.
The nonsense streams, those are weird.
Yeah. That's a good word for it. That's a good word for it. Kalen says Knicks. Talk a little Knicks. Talk a little Knicks. So tell me your thoughts on the Knicks offseason. No, let's skip the draft because they were picking late in the draft. They traded back. They got assets. Picked up a couple of nice shooters. But free agency, what did you think about what they did?
I didn't like it.
No, you don't like it.
They didn't get anybody to bring them over the top. They're the same team they were last year.
Yeah.
Kemba hasn't been the same since his knee injuries in Boston. I mean, I like the veteran pickup, but he's not what he was. They needed Kemba 6 years ago. Fournier, and then they bring it back everybody else. They brought back Randall. Randall deserved to come back. And they brought back Nerlens Noel. But it's like the same team. They need, I want them to go after Lonzo Ball. I thought Lonzo Ball would be the perfect guy for New York. I'm glad they brought Derrick Rose back.
They had to.
I think D Rose is great. If he was walking for the Knicks, I kept saying the Lakers ought to take a run at D Rose. I think he's great. I love that. And I love that. Rose and Randall should be coming back. But, man, the Knicks have all this money. They have all this draft capital. Make a run at somebody. I kept saying, go after Damian Lillard. The Knicks can't draft anyway. We talked about this last time. I'm like, trade RJ Barrett, trade some first-round picks, get Damian Lillard in here.
Yeah.
They just, to me, Chris, they didn't do anything to really step up to where I think they could win the conference.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I actually liked what they did because I now the Fournier contract I don't love because it's 1 year more than I would have liked. If it was 3 years with a 2-year opt out, I'm completely fine with it. I don't like the extra year. But when I looked at the free agency this year, I knew Kawhi Leonard wasn't leaving. The two best players were Paul and Leonard. I knew both of them weren't going to leave. So I knew we weren't going to get a superstar in free agency. So if they were going to get somebody, it was going to be via trade. It was going to be, like you said, Lillard, maybe Bradley Beal. But then
It wouldn't have been good. I'm glad they didn't get Schroeder though. I'm glad they stayed the hell away from that guy.
Yeah, well, for sure. And I looked at Lillard, and I think we had this conversation, and the price that it would cost to bring in Lillard, I didn't think Lillard's going to put you over the top because you're going to lose Barrett. You're going to lose all those draft picks, and I don't view a team of Lillard, Randall, and even if you sign a guy like Fournier, I don't view that team as a team that can compete for a championship. And I just, for this year, I didn't feel like we were in a place to make a move like that. So overall, I think Fournier is going to really help space the floor. He's a really good shooter. He's a versatile player. He's definitely an improvement from Bullock, at least offensively. Bullock was a good on-ball defender last year, but I think Fournier is a nice, versatile piece that's definitely going to help stretch the floor. Knicks didn't have a lot of guys that could create their own shots. He's going to bring that. Kemba, when he's healthy, is still good. He averaged 20 and 5 last year, but like you said, he's not the same player. He's had knee problems the last couple of years, played a half a season last year. But I think if he's healthy, he's a huge upgrade over Elfrid Payton. I'd be a huge upgrade over Elfrid Payton.
Right. Anybody's an upgrade over Elfrid Payton.
Yeah. And I look at those two guys, and they both shoot a ton of threes, something that the Knicks kind of need, guys that can create their own shots. And I think it's going to give much easier opportunities for a guy like R.J. Barrett to slash towards the hoop. Because it's going to help stretch the floor, and it's
that should help Obi Toppin as well.
Obi Toppin as well, yeah. So I like what they did. I actually think they made some good acquisitions. The Kemba Walker contract is nothing. I think it's like $8 million per year for 2 years. I like bringing back Noel. He was the cornerstone.
I like
of the
Noel
defense
too. He's a gritty guy. You need those guys.
Yeah, and Alec Burks. It was a good to bring him back too. He was great off the bench for the Knicks.
He was clutch. He was clutch in a lot of those games down the stretch. And the Knicks are winning all those close games, and it was Alec Burks that seemed like he was hitting the massive shots. I just, Chris, for me, I felt like the Knicks overachieved last year, and being that they overachieved and they were still only the 4th seed, I like I said, I just don't know. I think the Knicks should have taken a swing at it.
They still might though. They might do it at the deadline. I could see it if the right opportunity presents itself. But this year, if they don't make any more ads, the East is tough. I mean, Miami got a lot better.
Philadelphia,
the
Boston,
Philadelphia still good. Nets.
The Nets, obviously, right?
Yeah, I think the Knicks had best or 5 or 6 seed this year in the East. The Hawks.
The Hawks.
Yeah. So I mean, like the East is tough, and but they may make an acquisition at the deadline, or they may just let these young guys continue to progress. But I do think those two players are going to help their young players, which I think was the biggest takeaway from this offseason for me. That's going to help Barrett become a better player. That's going to help hopefully Toppin become a better player, quickly become a better player, just having better offensive players that can help stretch the floor. So I think they were good acquisitions, and hopefully could lead to bringing in a big piece next year that could really make this team a real true contender.
Like Giannis, Luka.
Well, Giannis signed an extension, so we're not getting him.
All right, well, Luka.
Yeah, maybe him. I think Zion is
Devin
real,
Booker.
That'd be nice. I think Zion. I think they're going after Zion, but I think it's going to be.
I know, man. Too risky. Dude's always hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hunter, man, thank you, brother. Really says if Kemba plays at an all-star level, the Knicks are a contender in my eyes. The Knicks need to hit shots down the stretch. They got that.
I don't think they're a contender. I mean, I would love to say they're a contender. I don't know what you mean by contender. I don't view them as a title contender. But if Kemba is healthy all year, I could see us making the second round. You look at the roster last year, we didn't have guys that could create their own shots. Kemba certainly could do that, and I think Fournier can as well, plus Derrick Rose. So they got some shot creators now that can help Julius Randle. I think that's only going to make Randle better in the playoffs too, because now they can't double and triple team him. So I think we'd be a dangerous team in the first round, especially if Kemba's the old Kemba.
Right. Well, you just want the Knicks to improve. So I think just getting playoff experience in general will help that team.
Yeah.
Because they know what to expect now.
Yeah.
And still, there is no better chant than defense at the Garden. Gives me chills every time. That crowd this year was insane. I miss that electricity at Madison Square Garden, man. It is
It was louder than the finals.
It's unbelievable, man. It's so awesome. There's nothing like that.
It's the best home stadium in New York sports. It's not even close.
I think it's sports.
In sports, yeah.
I think so, man. David, thank you, brother. Brilly says, check your Twitter DM at your convenience. The Paperclips fan have resorted to calling our championship banners dusty. They're down cataclysmically. How can Clippers fans say anything to Laker fans? The Clippers haven't even been to a finals.
Ever?
No. This is as far as they've ever gotten was the
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they suck.
Oh, I know they suck historically. They're a horrible franchise. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's funny doing Laker games how It's kind of like the Yankees, where teams that have shouldn't care about the Yankees, like Astro fans come in there and troll. And it's the same thing with like the Lakers. I had to deal with Nets fans all last year. I'm like, why are you in here?
Yeah, you're not
I'm
even
like,
in the
you're
same
not
conference.
the Lakers rival though. Like, I'm like, you don't even know that they're going to be in the finals, and they didn't. Either one of them made the finals. I'm like, why are they all in here? It
Yeah.
was very strange, but yeah, the Clippers, they love it. The Suns, like the people, everybody hates the Lakers. Everybody hates the Yankees. Everybody hates teams. Everybody hates the Patriots. Everybody hates the teams that are the most successful. It just is what it is. Everybody hates Dallas. Not that they're the most
It's good to be hated, though. That means you're good.
It is.
If there's a reason to be hated, that means you're doing something right.
That's true. Benjamin, thank you, brother. Brilly. He says, I'd rather y'all talk about women than hear Max KP date night rendezvous.
That's fair.
That is fair. That is fair. Janice, my lady, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. She says women also look, they're just more sneaky about it. Well, that's a fact. As a single woman, I can't help taking a glance at a well-built man guilty as charged. See?
She admits it.
Okay. They do and look. Oh, there's women at my job. Like, oh God, yeah, I look. They don't care. They're my age or a little bit older, but they're like, oh, of course I look. I'm like, thank you. I know you do. I'm just glad that they can admit it because like, oh, I don't.
And all right, Fabian, I'm sorry I didn't get the right terminology. I'll say that he says it's arena, not a stadium. Let's put it this way: Madison Square Garden, come playoff time, is the best home court, home field, home whatever in all sports.
Yep.
When the New York Knicks are playing.
I agree. Snack says, what's going on? We kind of veered off the beaten path. We kind of got off of an exit. Started talking about how men look at women. Women say they don't look at men, but women do look at men. Then we start talking about the Knicks.
Yeah, we promised we talk about that at the end. We got a lot of Knicks stuff, but
yeah,
like you said at the beginning, throughout the show, I can't wait till we have real stuff to talk about.
Yeah, it'll be good. It's just good to have this show back. I mean, I miss this show, and it's just good to be able to talk about football and training camp and other things. And look out, Janice! I see Bobby in the chat.
Is Bobby a Giannis fan?
There you go.
Whoa. Apparently he is. We might have a match.
She must love it. I saw Nicole in the chat earlier. We all know Bobby loves Nicole.
Yes. Oh, yes. She was in here?
Yeah, I saw her briefly. Yeah. I don't know if she's still in here, but I saw her briefly in here. L.A. Lou, thank you so much. Billy. Here's a good point. He says having Mitchell Robinson back can make a difference. If you elevate, it could elevate you in the
great
season.
Point.
Plus, you may start quicker than last year.
Yeah,
Mitchell Robinson, I love
having Mitch back. And you think of this bench now, Baddog. Let's assume Mitch is in the starting lineup. Derrick Rose, Noel now off the bench. Burks and improved quickly. You have to think he gets better and improved Toppin.
Toppin's got to play inside. Stop shooting so many threes.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I felt like when D Rose got there, he made Toppin better.
Yeah,
I felt like he made Toppin better, and that's hopefully what Kemba can do with Derrick Rose is make him better.
Yep,
I was happy when they drafted Obi Toppin.
I was too,
but I felt like it was a bit of a disappointment. Now IQ, nobody saw that coming.
Quickly was good. The percentage is still low, but he's good. He's a good player.
But he's a streaky guy.
Yeah,
he's the modern day John Starks.
He's a
better free throw shooter. He's a very good free throw shooter.
I can see that.
But quickly can have those games where he's 3 for 17, then he can knock 7 down in a row.
Yeah,
and he's not afraid to shoot it.
I think that's what he'll be.
He's not as good of a defender as Starks. Starks is ridiculous as a defender. But somebody sent me. I don't know if it was Nick. I forgot. I don't think it was Nick DeWick because Nick DeWick is really. He's the football player that's really big. Somebody sent me something on Instagram. I think his name was Nick though, and he got to take pictures. Showed me like some of the guys he took pictures with, like Kenny Smith. He took a picture with John Starks. I'm like, that's my guy. Like, I would love to meet John Starks. That's my guy. Everyone's like, who's your favorite player of all time? It's Starks. Because
he was a lot of people's favorite player back then.
I just love his tenacity. I mean, if you grew up and I did, and you were a Knicks fan in the '90s, he's going to be one of your favorites.
Yeah,
I just loved that. I loved his temper. I loved his passion, his fire. Like the dude just wanted to win.
Yep,
he's wanted to win. He wasn't the most talented guy. But again, nobody outworked him. And he put his heart and soul in. That whole team did. Which is why even though they never won anything. They made it to the finals a couple of times. That's why they're so revered. That's why everybody loves Oakley. Everybody loved Anthony Mason, God rest his soul. They love Ewing, although they treated him like shit. And that was the curse that really hurt the Knicks.
When they
traded the whole Patrick Ewing thing. Right. Disgraceful.
It was a horrible trade.
Like
horrible
that.
trade. They took back horrible salaries. A horrible trade.
Yeah, well, that's our guy.
Yeah.
It was disgraceful what they did to him. And, you know, Starks.
I still say it to this day. In my lifetime, he's the most underappreciated athlete in the history in my lifetime in New York sports. Most underappreciated.
Between him and Eli.
Yeah, I think it's him. Eli's pretty good. He's up there too, but I think it's Pat. I think it's Pat is the most underappreciated.
Yeah. Dan D, thank you for the super chat, my brother. Really, how about our Yankees? I wish we hit a little more situational, but we've been playing really good baseball lately. Loizaga should be the future coach. Loizaga's filthy. 100 miles an hour down in the zone. What an arm.
You guys are hitting your stride. I mean, we'll see how you do in the playoffs, but it looks like you're definitely getting the wild card.
Obi Toppin's in here.
What's up, Obi?
There you go. Yeah, but that's the whole thing. Eric, how can I be the man when you the man?
Frankie says, Baddog, ask Chris if he's worried about the Mets. Yeah, they're done.
These threes were, we're talking about that before.
They're done.
But yeah, I mean, Dan, I think the Yankees are. You see that I mentioned this in the video today. They're taking extra bases. You saw Gary Sanchez score from a double. Brett Gardner hustled in a second beat to throw over there. Saw DJ LeMahieu be smart, get caught in a rundown to allow the go-ahead run to score because he wasn't forced out after they stepped on first base. You're seeing the guys start to take the ball to right field. Giancarlo Stanton's starting to hit the ball up the middle. There's a different energy there. And having Rizzo, sometimes you get that guy and it just injects life. But they were doing this before Rizzo got there. They started to play more fundamental, but their bullpen was blowing games. Now their bullpen's hanging on. It ain't easy. We never have a blowout. The other game I did, that was nice. We did have a blowout. The Yankees don't blow anybody out. But these are character builders, and you're not going to play a lot of blowouts in the playoffs. So hopefully if they get there, you take a chance of a Garrett Cole in the one-game playoff, and maybe they get there. Maybe they do get on a roll. But to me, they still swing and miss too much, and you still see 6-7 innings where they go without anything, and then they find a way. But it's good to see them coming back now. They definitely are playing better. This is what we expected from the Yankees going into the year, and now they are hitting their stride. But again, let's not get too carried away because we've seen this team with the fool's gold before. But I think it's a little bit different. I really do. I think having the balanced lineup is huge.
I think you guys will win the wild card. Win the wild card game. If I had to guess, and you don't know. I mean, one game.
They might play Boston, and they've kicked our ass this year.
It doesn't matter if you play the Orioles. One game, anything could happen. But,
I know. I'm just saying Boston.
Yeah, that's dangerous. But I think you'll at least get to the divisional series, and then who knows after that? You see where it goes.
Yeah, we can't beat Tampa either, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I would love another shot at Houston. I tell you that much right now. I would love that. Philly, really. He says, thanks, guys. My wife heard you say all men look. I told her I was a saint. Now she called me a pig, and I'm getting killed. Take it up the ass. Philly, what I said got nothing to do with you. Unless you were, I can see Philly watching this, and his wife hears that, and he doesn't know she's in the doorway, and he's just sitting there going, he probably shook his head like, yep, Baddog, you're right. And then she saw that, and that's what pissed her off. Not that I said it, but he probably got caught going, oh, hi, honey. Yeah. That's what happened. Independent outsider, thank you, brother. Really, my man. Chris, any chance the Mets get Freddie Freeman next year, 35 years old, $12 million contract this year, maybe free agent, biggest thing with Freeman contract and RBIs.
Listen, I love Freddie Freeman. Even though he's a Brave, he's one of my favorite players in the league. I think he's great. Won the MVP last year. Fantastic player. I hate every time he comes up against the Mets. I just don't see the fit, right? We got Pete Alonso at first base. You got Dom Smith as well with the DH. You figure Dom will play some first. He's better with the glove. Pete will be playing some DH. I just don't see the fit. I think if the Mets are going to add somebody in free agency, it's going to be a good defensive center fielder. I think that's definitely something they need. Maybe another starting pitcher, maybe some more bullpen help. But I love Freeman, but I just don't see the fit.
Do you want Gary Sanchez?
I know you don't. I know you don't.
You guys say to me all the time, "Oh, Higgy sucks." I'm like, he's a backup. He's supposed to suck. But I did say the other day, I go, Higgy's been so bad, it's pretty bad that I'm sitting there longing for Gary Sanchez. Oh, Higgy had a big double today. Had a big double today. That was huge. Pinch hit RBI, double tied the game up. Yankees are getting some breaks too. Like Gleyber Torres hit a ball out to right field, and Haniger slipped and fell down, and Glaber ended up with a triple. He should have caught it, but when he went near the line, he actually his feet, like he slipped on the dirt. Yankees are getting breaks like that. Even against the Marlins, they had 3 pop-up hits, 3 sky-high pop-ups that fell like in between 3 fielders.
When you're hot, things just break.
It happens, and the Yankees get a lot of bad breaks earlier in the year, so it all evens out.
Yeah.
Paul O'Neill he'll say that never evens out, but they do. Dan, thank you, brother. Brilly says, I know the baseball draft is different, but Chris, how do you feel about the Nets not signing Rocker?
Yep.
I heard if you guys sign free agent, you could lose a draft pick altogether.
Yeah, obviously I'm very disappointed. Kumar Rocker, we drafted him 10th overall. A lot of people had him as a lot of actually 2 months leading up into the draft. Most people thought he was going to be the first pick in the draft. So it was a surprise that he dropped. People had him at like 6 or 7 going into the draft. So it was a surprise he dropped to 10. The reason he did is because he had his fastball was kind of changing in terms of the speed. 1 week it would be 94, the next week it would be 98, and that was kind of a red flag for some teams. That's why he fell. And then the Mets did a medical check after they drafted him, and they felt like it was too risky to give him the money that he wanted. He was a Boras client, but we all know that Scott Boras doesn't bend. So, I mean, yeah, obviously as a Mets fan, I'm really disappointed. Now, what I heard is the Mets now, and I don't know this, I'm pretty sure the Mets actually get the 11th overall pick in next year's draft because of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I heard. Now, I could be wrong in that. Maybe there's some free agent thing that he's talking about. Maybe they don't get that. But that's what I heard. But obviously, I'm really disappointed. Rocker was, when they drafted him, I was like, yeah, this guy's going to be a frontline starter. So, not good. Hopefully he goes back to school and he has a great year and he gets drafted again. But yeah, obviously not good as a Met fan. You're disappointed.
Yeah. Philly 500 just said pretty much. So he probably was like, yep, Baddog, you're right. Oh, shit. Yeah. That's the equivalent of looking, Philly, which is just. Blue Collar, thank you, brother. Brilly, my man. Biggest New York sports embarrassment, butt fumble. Miracle of the Meadowlands, Bobby Bonilla Day, Knicks 50 years, fake spike, Mets miss Clemens, Deshaun Jackson. Butt fumble, without a doubt.
Let me think about this. Okay. The Mets miss Clemens is definitely not it for me. There's much more embarrassing Mets moments. The Deshaun Jackson is not, it was embarrassing that we punted to him, but it's I got to go with, it's either the butt fumble or Bobby Bonilla. Because the Bobby Bonilla thing, people always, like that even people that aren't baseball fans know about Bobby Bonilla Day and how embarrassing that is for the Mets. But I think I go with the butt fumble. I think that's the
butt fumble gotta be.
I think it's the butt fumble. I think it's the butt
fumble. That's when that is your signature moment. Like Daniel Jones fell down on an 80. I would much rather fall down after running 80 yards on my own than run into the back of my own lineman and have his butt cause a fumble.
Now, I actually agree with this. I think the Giants' most embarrassing moment, I think Amazing Guy said it, the benching of Eli for Geno Smith.
Yeah.
I think that's the Giants' most embarrassing moment.
Good call.
Yeah, that I agree with that. That was embarrassing as an organization.
Embarrassing.
It wouldn't have been embarrassing if we benched him for the rookie. It was embarrassing that we benched him for Geno Smith.
Yep. That was pathetic. Asia, thank you so much, my lady. I really appreciate it. Cheers, my lady. She said, what up, bad dog, you loon? And stand up, my sexy Tainah. I just came home from Philadelphia working at Citizens Bank Park. I heard you were working there. That's a nice stadium, actually. I've been there once.
Same guy who built Citi Field built Citizens Bank Park.
I've not been to Citi Field. I have got to get there.
Yeah.
Someday. I have to. I got to meet Asia. I got to get there someday. And then she says, root for your Mets, Chris. Get it together. And Bad Dog, let's keep this winning streak going. Asia, you damn right. It's nice to make videos talking good about the Yankees because Lord knows the first few weeks that I was doing Yankee videos, they were all bad. So it's like, I like that people are like, it's good to see Bad Dog happy. Yes, it is.
Yep.
Because like I said, it's for me as a fan, it's easy to make me happy. It's also easy to piss me off. Like I am just that guy. You can make me happy just by doing the little things. You can piss me off by not doing the little things.
Yeah, and Asia, as far as my Mets go, I hope, that's our phrase, you got to believe, so I never quit on my team. We're still only a game and a half out, but maybe, that's the thing about baseball. It's a long season, so that's what like the silver lining is, and I guess what gives you hope still is maybe they flip the switch and they start playing better, but they got a tough part of their schedule coming up, and it's just not looking good right now. But maybe in a week I'll feel differently.
We have the easy part of our schedule. I mean, that's
overall we have it. It's just these next we have the Phillies out for one more than the Nationals, who aren't good. But if you look, but then we have the Dodgers and the Giants for 13 games straight. Those two teams. But
Wow.
outside of that, our schedule's really easy. So we got I think we have how many games left? About 60?
54. We had 54 going into today. So we
Okay, so we'll say about 55 games. 20 of them for the Mets still on the schedule, or either the Marlins or the Nationals.
But
so
the
that's
Marlins, but the Marlins just swept you guys.
They do 3 out of 4, but they're not good. But obviously the Mets can't beat anybody right now. But in terms of quality of opponent, 40% of our games are against the Marlins and the Nationals, who completely sold everything. So that's like the silver lining, I guess, what I'm holding out hope for, that we could have a hot stretch after that. But it's gonna be tough, man. We gotta win tomorrow, and then we gotta sweep the Nationals before that 13-game stretch.
One thing I'll say about the Marlins, because I did 2 games of that series with the Yankees, they have some pretty good young arms there. Now, maybe that has to do with the park, because there was definitely some balls that the Yankees hit, and I'm like, that would have been way going to Yankees. Don't even reach a track. And, I mean, we've seen this. Joey Gallo hit one that hit the first row. Yeah. Today, Rugna Odor hit one that hit the first row. Like, they're Yankee Stadium home runs. Like, they're not home runs anywhere else. They just are clearing the wall over 314 feet, so the Yankees are getting those breaks. But, like, Sandy Alcantara was awesome. Like, he was really good against the Yankees. And all their ERAs were really low. And I'm like, man, if they had any kind of hitting, they might actually be decent. Outside of Aguilar, he's pretty good. But everybody else stinks.
Aguilar's the heavy set guy, right?
Yeah, he had
he's a good hitter.
RBI.
No, he's a good hitter. He's a good hitter. He's a good hitter. He's a good player.
But Asia, I'm with you. I wanted this Yankee streak to keep going. I like the way they're playing. They're finally doing just what I asked. Hit the ball to the opposite field, steal bases, bunt, sacrifice flies. Finally, they're playing like fundamental small ball baseball, and they're adding the home runs in there. That's the way you win games. It's all I've screamed about all year. They're finally doing it. It's nice to see. Dan D, thank you, brother. Brilly says you guys should be on WFAN or ESPN Radio.
I appreciate, we've been told that, a few times here and there, and, just whatever. It's just, it's nice that people say it. Maybe, maybe they mean it. Maybe they don't. They're just being complimentary. I'm going to tell you what, and it's not even so much a complimenting us. I listen to WFAN every now and again. Whenever I'm driving a long ways, I'll turn it on. It is horrible.
It's pretty bad.
I every time I listen to, whenever I go to a Met game, I'll turn it on because I'll listen for like an hour going to the stadium. I'll listen to Carton and Evan, and I actually don't hate Evan. I thought Evan and Beninga were pretty good together, but I listen to Carton and Evan together. I can't. It's horrible, and I listen to see how bad it is. But I remember last time I was going to the Met game, they talked for about 25 minutes straight about the hot dogs at Citi Field. And I'm like, are these guys ever going to talk sports? They don't talk sports.
Well, what they were doing is they were watching the Nick Sirianni press conference talking about the hot dog. And they must have just got off on a tangent.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. I don't know. But sports radio is not what it used to be.
It's not. That's why people tune into guys like us.
Yeah.
Because we are, and we don't have to be that. Or there's nobody telling us what to say. There's no program here. We just... talk about the Giants, talk about looking for the women, talk about hot dogs and booze and whatever. But that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Asia, thank you so much, my lady. Brilly. She says, I was wearing my Giants jersey in enemy territory. Forget the Eagles fans. There you go.
There you go, Asia. Love it. Love it.
You got to do it. What did I see here? I saw something I wanted to read real quick. We got to get out of here. Gus Cafu, what's going on? This is incredible to me. The San Francisco Giants are the first team to reach 70 wins. What a surprise.
Biggest surprise in baseball this year.
Because I did a Dodgers-Giants game. The Dodgers winning. They blew it. Kenley Jansen blew it in the ninth. I'm looking at that Giants lineup. And I'm looking at, and I know they're good, but I look at that lineup like, these guys suck. Like, how do they win? Like, I'm like, every one of these guys is a cast-off. None of them have good stats. They win all the time.
Yeah.
That just shows you, again, pitching and small ball wins over hitting the ball out of the park.
Yeah,
it just
especially in the playoffs. Especially
in the National League, too.
Yeah, but the Giants by far the biggest shock in baseball, especially with the division that they play in, the Padres and the Dodgers, and for them to do is what that is a shock this year. They're having a great year.
Unbelievable. They are having a great year. And,
yeah.
Who's their coach? It's Kapler, right?
Yeah.
Coach of the year.
Yeah, they've been incredible.
Manager of the year. He's not a coach. He's a manager in baseball. Dan, thank you, brother. Brilly, my man. I really appreciate this. John Boy was on WFAN the other day.
I saw that on Twitter.
If he could do it, I think you guys could do it too. The Michael K show is actually decent at times. Well, I remember when John Boy kind of broke the Houston Astros trash can thing, that he was all over. I remember being on WFAN, or maybe he was on the Michael K show. I do remember seeing him. on there. So
yeah, I saw that today. They were in the they were at WFAN. Yeah, it's awesome, man. That's great to see. And same thing with Knicks Fan TV. He's been on ESPN,
Max
right?
Kellerman all the time. And he owns Max Kellerman.
Yeah, he does.
And Max knows it. I think Max enjoys it. I think Max enjoys getting his ass beat by Knicks Fan TV.
Well, I mean, let's be real, Baddog. Max Kellerman's a freaking sellout. Max Kellerman used to say, he used to be a diehard Knicks fan. Now he says he's a Laker fan. He says he's a Nets fan. The guy's a sellout. He's a sellout.
He's not a fan.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, exactly. He's not a fan.
He's not a fan. Neither Stephen A. Smith. They're trolls. That's their job.
Stephen A. Smith to me is the biggest. And don't get me wrong, he's entertaining. Okay, I'll watch one of his rants and I'll laugh. His Nick rants are so fake. He's like acting like he's crying. I'm like, this is bullshit. It's all entertainment.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything about sports.
Yeah.
We know this. My God. Benjamin, thank you for the super chat. My man, Brilly, he says, I swear if my Dodgers don't beat your Mets, I'll never forgive KP for all the pain he has caused me. KP just come out of the closet. Really pisses me off that you don't tell the world you're a man's man. My brother-in-law's and he'll be at the the Don. What's going on, buddy? He says, cheers, boys. Let's go, G-Man. He'll be at the Eagle game again.
It was a pleasure getting to meet him last time. I'm looking forward to it.
We'll be drinking some brews again.
What are we gonna drink? What are we gonna drink? Some IPAs? What are we gonna drink?
IPAs. Give me
Peronis. You can't go wrong with a Peroni.
Peroni, Stella, whatever.
We'll figure it out.
Something that's cold, Chris.
That's all that matters.
Something that's cold. We'll do it at the hotel. We'll go to, drink some beers at the hotel. We'll go to the Reds or wherever the hell we go. We'll figure it out.
But yeah, no, I see Machiavelli says, in terms of his knowledge, he definitely knows basketball. I'll be the first to say Stephen A. Smith definitely knows basketball. But in terms of his rants when it comes to the Knicks, it's because the Knicks are such an easy target. And, it's Knicks for clicks. That's the phrase, right? Whenever it's the draft, you turn to the crying fan. His rants with the Knicks, it is staged. It is fake. But it's funny, but it's fake.
Dandy, yes. Next week, Saturday. By the way, I saw somebody, it was Obi Toppin, that's what I want to answer. He said, when's my next Yankee stream? Tomorrow. I plan on doing the game tomorrow afternoon against the Mariners. See if we can get the sweep. But that's the plan. That is tomorrow. I'm going to do the Yankees. But yeah, Dan, at this time next week, we'll be 15 hours into the stream. So Saturday, August 14th, for those of you who don't know, I will start the stream at 9 o'clock in the morning. I will not stop streaming until 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. And hopefully you guys can tune in. My man DWG, like I said, he'll be in his house. He can't wait. He's like, I can't wait to get Uber. I can't wait to take an Uber and order from Grubhub. That's what he's saying. But he hasn't been here in a year because of COVID. So he's excited to come back. He loves to chat. I'm going to shave my head on stream. That's going to be fun. And, we'll have a bunch of nonsense. We'll have Philly 500 on the channel. Uncle Lou is going to be on the channel. Chris will be on at some point during the channel. Maybe I get Josh from Sports 3 on again. He always comes in at the end of it. And like him and Hot Take Hockey helped me out huge the last couple hours. I was dying. And they got into the chat with me. And then I was able to finish it. It was nice to have those guys there.
Yeah.
So, we'll have a lot of time to talk about whatever you want. We talk about throwing change at strippers. We could talk about whatever.
We'll figure it out. I saw a couple of people ask, am I going to stream the Knicks game? I might. A couple of people asked me to do the summer league, so I might. I know they play. I don't even know what time it is tomorrow, so I'll look it up. But I might. I might do that. We'll see.
We'll see. Well, let's get out of here, guys. We kind of went overboard or overtime here tonight. Started talking about a bunch of different things. But just want to say again, if you haven't done so on the way out, smack the like. The most important thing you do is make sure you go into the description, click on the Up Tainah Talkin Sports. Make sure you sub him up because, like I said, we'll be on his channel next Thursday night. We do this every week. Once we have more football to talk about, we can fill up 2.5 hours of football easily. So we're getting there. First game is next Saturday. And probably not going to see a ton of the starters, but it'll be nice to actually have football to talk about. We didn't get to do it last year because we had no preseason games. So it's going to be good. Can't wait for it. Really appreciate all you guys and girls. You guys and girls are amazing. We had over 500 people in here again tonight. Supporting this show is awesome. Love this show. And I
got to answer Bobby's question, by the way.
Oh, go ahead.
He's asked it all night, and he always does. Chris, did you see Mr. Softy today? Bobby? No. Actually, you know what, Bobby? There's been an absence of ice cream trucks in my neighborhood this year. Usually there's more, but that doesn't seem to have been as many. So I don't know if I'm going to see them all year, Bobby, but when I do see them, you'll be the first to know. But no, man, all kidding aside, man, I always, like you said, always love doing this show. Cannot wait until the regular season gets cooking, and we have a lot more to talk about. And I think it's gonna be a fun year. I say it all the time. I don't think it's gonna be a year we start like 0-5 and we're miserable. I think the Giants are gonna come out. I think we're gonna, get off to a decent start, 3-2 start, hopefully a 4-1 start. But I think we'll get off to a decent start this year. I think we're gonna have a fun year. I'm looking for the progress from Daniel Jones, and you guys make the show. We say it all the time.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for all the support. Went off on some tangents tonight, a little fun tonight. But we'll have a lot more to talk about as the season draws closer. And, of course, Baddog, man, always love doing this with you. And thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no, it's my pleasure. And, like I said, this is my favorite thing I do on YouTube. I have no idea how many episodes this is. I just know it's the second one of 2021, but we well over 100 episodes. And I still like to go back to the first one. I like to watch those first couple just to see how different the backgrounds are, to see, how much the show has grown. And I just like to go back and hear what we talked about. And
probably the same shit. Probably the
I was
opposite.
going to say it's the same. It was different players, but we're saying the same thing because his team hasn't been good in 3 years. Got to block. We got to run the ball. We got to do this. You got to play. So
it's been the same story with the Giants for a decade.
It has been. But we're going to get out of here, guys, girls. Say if you're a Yankee fan, you want to come by and hang out with me for the Yankees and Mariners, see if we can get the sweep, come on by. If Chris is doing the Summer League tomorrow and you want to watch some Knicks basketball, go over there and check him out. So we're going to get out of here. If we don't see you, enjoy the rest of your weekend. The Entertainment Talking Sports, Bad Diggy Dizzle.